with 6. Cisco again tonight, the 11-5 Zach Gallen will get the ball. The Snakes coming off a month of July in which they won just 8 times in 24 games. They're 1 game in back of the Giants for second in the division. Justin Verlander is heading back to Houston. The Mets sending him to the Astros, where he won World Series titles in 2017 and 2022. I'm Frank Garrity on Fox Sports 910, available everywhere on the free iHeartRadio app.
This is the Parker & Sons Weather Center. For all your AC, plumbing, and electric needs, call Parker.
For your Tuesday, look for temperatures topping out close to 108 degrees. Slight chance of seeing a few isolated showers out there for tonight, with those temperatures dipping down into those upper 80s. For the Fox 10 weather experts, I'm Ty Brennan.
This report is sponsored by STEM.
Humans can do a lot of amazing things. Fighting bugs? Ew, a bug, get it! Isn't one of them. STEM is powered by active ingredients found in plants to fight off bugs safely and effectively when used as directed. STEM, rooted in nature, optimized by science.
Calling all sports with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Proudly sponsored by On Air Sports Marketing. And is powered by the injury attorneys Lerner and Roc. In a wreck and need a check? Make one call, that's all. 602-977-1900. And always online at lernerandrow.com. Now time for Calling All Sports with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. On Fox Sports 910.
Hey, everybody, good afternoon. We say hello to you from the Barrio Queen here at Desert Ridge Marketplace, just off of Tatum Boulevard. Come by, say hello. We got a big crowd already on hand enjoying lunch, and we've got a Power Pack show for you today as well. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, Fox Sports 910, 99.9 FM HD2, and also on the iHeartRadio app. Manuch, how are you, kid?
I'm doing good.
Yeah.
Just sitting here tracking anything and everything baseball-wise, and also we've got some updated news in reference to the meteorites,
yes,
for your Pac-12 or lack thereof.
Yeah.
And then we'll talk about the D-backs mixing in a win last night.
Yep.
Maybe that's a precursor and all good things. But Jimmy, I'm glad driving in here to Barrio Queen up here at Desert Ridge. It wasn't 195. Clouds are building up to the north of us here. A little sticky, but
there you go.
I'm good to go. It's always a good day. like Carl Reiner would say when he got into his 90s.
Nobody knows who Carl Reiner is but me.
The old Dick Van Dyke Show, writer, actor extraordinaire. The guys that are in their 90s, he had a little documentary about him and a few other guys that said, look, if I can get up and not see my name in the obituary, it's a good thing.
Damn straight it is.
A good thing. So it's all good in my hood.
There you go. Jax is with us as well, and we got Richie back in the studio, so let's go.
Time for the top local and national stories of the hour. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona. Bet big on your favorite teams and players in an environment that's as exciting as the game you're watching. There's no better place in the Valley to get in on the action. The Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar. Now, guys, what's your top story this hour?
Well, as we broadcast live today from the Barrio Queen, it is Taco Tuesday. It's also El Bandito Yankee Tequila Tuesday as well. Top story, D-backs. And they needed a much win last night in San Francisco against the Giants. They got it in extra innings. They win 4-3, and this was, I say what needed win because, Manuch, they had to snap what was going on with that team. They were on a terrible slide.
Well, you lose 8 out of 10. You lose, 3 series in a row. They were due. They all knew that Patrick Sewald would be coming their way as a top-notch closer, who had 2 saves, by the way, against the Diamondbacks when they were in town, that being with the Seattle Mariners.
Yep.
But, yeah, much-needed win, and good to see them go into extra innings. Basically, number one, Jimmy, to get it tied up, and then to go ahead and take the lead in the 11th inning, and then hold the lead.
Yes.
God forbid, you had McGruff come in. Excuse me, McGuff come in, who's been pitching like McGruff.
I'm sorry, that cracks me up.
Yeah, he holds the lead, and Ginkel comes in. And he basically got the win, gave up the 1 run on a wild pitch. But again, a much needed win. Ketel Marte with that ground rule double.
Yep.
Perdomo scores. They hold the Giants. You get the victory. and you're holding serve with the San Francisco Giants for second place right now.
And Ginkle came in and shut the door, so you had to have that happen, and he did. But you're right. Getting Paul Sewald from Seattle is hopefully make a very, very big difference. He wins he closes about 88% of his games, where the committee closers that we have had for the Diamondbacks, about 60%. So that's a major upgrade for this team.
Well, and the good thing about last night, you looked at the bullpen, and pretty much they gave up no hits.
Right.
You know, the 5 hits by Nelson, and they gave up just a 1 run on the Ginkle wild pitch was the only one they gave up. So that's encouraging. That's good pitching, but I think that might have been a little bit of a heads up bullpen.
Yeah,
we got a new closer in town, and there might be some other changes. So I think that when the Diamondbacks realize, hey, look, the management's going to help us. They got Sewald coming in. They may make some more changes. Hopefully, they do in reference to another middle relief guy coming in, or maybe another starter. Who knows? We'll see here because the trade deadline stopped as of about 7 minutes ago.
Okay.
6 minutes ago.
Okay.
So we'll see what falls out. Jax is on the tracker right now, see if there's anything that's come out from there. But I think it's kind of hey, it's great. They're helping us out. And in the meantime, if you're in the pen, hey, heads up. Our jobs might be on the line. Or we might get shuffled off to Buffalo or here or there. So it's good for the win. They can breathe. You got 4 games in San Francisco. If you can go in there and split or win 3 out of 4.
I would take the split.
Absolutely. You're basically you're back in the hunt. And then tonight, I believe we've got Zach Gallen going on the bump tonight.
Right.
And just get back to being Zach Gallen.
Yeah.
You know, just pitch.
He got roughed up his last outing.
He did. So hitting comes around, and you looked last night, Gurriel had a couple of key hits. The one thing, Jimmy, we always talk about is, runners left on base or runners in scoring position or left on base. Last night, runners in scoring position, they're 4 for 6.
Yeah.
You'll take that. That's what Torey Lovullo's talking about. And he even mentioned the clutch hitting when you've got runners in scoring position. You're going to have runners left on base. We get that. If it's 11, like it was a few days ago, that's not good. That's troublesome. But I think with runners in scoring position, that's where the clutch hitting.
Yeah.
We used to have this clutch chart when I was in high school. It doesn't mean different. Yeah, your batting average, but what's your BA or where's your? We used to get points for clutch hitting, runners in scoring position.
Right.
That's who Ron Deviney, who's an outstanding coach, who was at ASU for years, won a state title at Corona. He had us at McClintock. That was his emphasis. Move the runners over.
Yep.
Get them in when they're on second or third. And basically, if there was 2 outs and you got him in, there's like 3 or 4 points he would add up. And he emphasized that. And I think Torey Lovullo's doing the same thing, especially in last night's game, to go extra innings and win that.
Same 2 teams meet again this evening in San Francisco. And that brings us then to our State 48 Roofing. It's your call question of the day. And for a free quote, repair, or installation, just head to state48roofing.com. Follow them on social media by searching #sexy roof status. Here's the question. Have the D-backs done enough by acquiring a true closer in Patrick Sewald? You got 2 options. A, yes, he will win close games. B, no, they need a middle reliever as well. The trading deadline is over. We will wait and see if indeed there are any more moves by the Diamondbacks. Just go to Roc and Manuch on Twitter and cast your vote. We will revisit that question throughout the show. In the meantime, did you get a chance to see this? Udoka Azubuike.
Yeah.
Say that fast 6 times. And I did, because I did one of his games that he was playing when he played for Kansas. So I'm used to saying that. He has been added to the Phoenix Suns. It is a 2-way contract. And the Suns now have 1 2-way contract left if they decide to use it before the season begins.
You think he's more of a camp body, Jimmy, when they bring him in?
He's a big guy, 6'10", 6'11", really beefy, can bang everybody around. But he's a guy that so far has been able to get traction in the NBA.
Well, and on top of that, if they decide to keep him, that you talk about that big body down low, or I like to call maybe there's a little bit of an enforcer in him.
Could be.
As a strategy, because it's all about the defense this year, right? Mm-hmm. You got the shooters, you got the scorers. I think last time we looked, there's eight shooters from three-point land at 35% above for this Suns team. So maybe add a bigger body, a more aggressive guy. Now, whether he makes the team or not, we'll see when you talk about the two-way contract. So, again, maybe they're at the defensive side. You look for an enforcer / that's a bigger body that can handle some of the big bodies with some of the teams you're going to play, specifically in the Western Conference.
He's a guy that did fine at Kansas, drafted by Utah, saw limited action, but never really went to the G League. And so by that, meaning that he just didn't really fit in to what the Utah Jazz were trying to do. So when his contract came up, he was available as a free agent. Say hello to Udoka Azubuike.
One more time, Jimmy.
Udoka Azubuike.
Okay, not bad.
Yeah.
If it
rolls off the tongue.
Well, if you say it fast enough, nobody will know anyway.
Manuch, did you watch any of the women's soccer game?
It's interesting you say that because it's about 12:30, 1 o'clock, and my daughter, I sent her a text in the morning, so she's up. They're an hour ahead in Denver, so she goes, "You watch this?" I said, "Yeah," and we're going back and forth, and it's 45 minutes 0-0, 50 minutes 0-0. And she texted me back last night. She used to play soccer at Hastings College.
Okay.
She's a soccer player, so she watches the women's soccer and men's soccer. She coached at Eagle Crest High School there in Denver. She coached the boys JV team a couple years ago. She loved coaching the boys. She really did.
Yeah.
But she said that this coach is not subbing enough. She said about halfway through the game that the gals were gassed. She could see it.
Okay.
And then on top of that, she said, his strategies are horrible, Dad. So we're texting back and forth.
Yeah.
So you get to the 65th minute, I'm going 0-0. I just hope they can hold on.
And tie.
If they go 0-0 or nil all or draw all, whatever, they'll advance.
Yes.
I said, this is getting way too close. So my last question to Sis last night was, what do you think? She goes, I don't like his strategy. I don't like this his approach to the game. And the other thing she said, the blend of the young and the old just hasn't meshed yet.
I got you.
She could tell.
Yeah.
Because you looked at several years ago, that experienced team, they knew exactly where they're going. She says she sees some hesitation with the young guys, or the young gals, I should say, but they're just not there. And she said, I got to tell you, they're taking on Sweden, and be careful because Sweden's got a really good, experienced team. So it was great for us to be texting back and forth. We got to 1:30 in the morning. And I said, you better hurry up and get to bed, get a nap, because she's got to get him to go teach school.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, well, I'll be up. But, it was interesting, her thoughts on what she was watching, because, the novices in us watch it. I don't see some of that.
Yes,
but
you don't see all the technical
Those gals were gassed.
They were gassed
at the end of the game.
Yeah. We are waiting, of course, for the University of Arizona to have their Regents meeting. It's supposed to begin around 3:30. Today, George Klickhoff, yeah, that guy too, gave his presentation as far as the Pac-12 TV rights are concerned. Essentially, what has come out of that meeting, it is all Apple TV streaming service, and there are incentives built into the streaming service depending on how many subscribers that they get. And the payout is going to be between 20 and 22 million per team.
Based on whether they get the subscribers. Yeah, Pete Thamel came out. It's probably going back an hour of ESPN, and he's basically said there's really nothing there. And your point there, Jimmy, some of the new stuff that allegedly, if they meet these crossroads, I call them check marks, or scenarios, that the money could be there. So basically, it's potentially Apple.
It's all potential.
It's potentially streaming, and that's all that's there right now. Nobody else has stepped up. We found out that CW has backed out as of for now.
Right.
So what that means, your point in reference to the Board of Regents meeting at 3:30 this afternoon, they pretty much will have, I think, enough to make a decision. Now, whether they make it today or this week or next week, later on in the week, I think they have enough to understand that if you look at somebody that really, really wants U of A, that'd be the Big 12.
Yes.
And they really want them, and their package will be 33 to 31. 31 to 33. Colorado's going to get $31 million their first year.
Yeah.
And that'll bump.
Yes, it bumps.
Versus maybe 20 to 25 million. Well, I would think that's a no-brainer. But they might sit on it and tell George Kliavkoff, hey, if you have any updated news before we give our final decision, please call where we're at. But I think that this greases the skids, I would think, for at least U of A to move on and approve that. ASU, if you're not on board with this, and you're not Ray Anderson and Michael Crow, the president of ASU, and Ray Anderson, the AD, and you're not like, you know what? It doesn't look good for the Pac-12. And if we're going to be able to compete with U of A in state, in reference to recruits football-wise, it'll be tough for you to compete with basketball. We get that.
Yeah.
Then you better get on board and go make your plight with the Big 12. But the Big 12 is going, well, wait a second. If we get U of A, that'll be our 14.
That's it.
If we come after you, ASU, we got to come after somebody else.
That's right.
Utah, to make it 16. Because the Big 12 wants to have even scenarios.
That is correct.
So they might be okay saying, well, we'll take U of A this year. 1 minute. ASU will check with you in Utah next year. So there's, I think, enough for the Board of Regents to make at least an understanding of where they go from here. Mm-hmm. And if they tell U of A, look, guys, God bless you, move on, go make it happen, so be it. So I think the groundwork's there.
It is.
From the lack of media rights by the Pac-12 to have potentially Apple, and potentially there's benchmarks you got to meet in order to go make that money. Where you go to the Big 12, it's around 30 to 35
it's already,
on a yearly basis.
Yeah, the money's already there. You don't know what you're going to get out of the Pac-12 deal. And when they talk about 20 to 22 and then incentives tacked onto that for subscription, I'm not buying it. That's, to me, it's just not workable at all. The top headlines always presented by the Sportsbook at the CAZ Sports Bar. You can watch all of Major League Baseball, MLS and international soccer matches, UFC and boxing. It's all on the big screens at the CAZ Sportsbook in the CAZ Sports Bar. Also, they always have food and drink specials available. So you need to try the Roc and Manuch Lager, and it's brewed by Huss Brewing in Tempe. Located, of course, at Casino Arizona 101 and McKillips. Just go to casinoarizona.com. All right, when we come back, it's our Valley Chevy Dealer Sounds of the Night. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, Fox Sports 910.
Football is almost here. Hear the sweet Jacksonville and Dallas preseason football next Saturday at 1:30 on Fox Sports 910. Presented by HornCars.com. That's HORNE Cars.com.
Arizona's largest locally owned A-plus BBB rated towing company is All City Towing. They're always looking to add motivated and competitive team members. Do you fit the bill? If so, head on over to allcitytowing.com/careers for more information.
I'm attorney Kevin Rowe. Have you been charged with a crime you didn't commit? It happens more than you think. When your liberty is on the line, you need an experienced attorney that will aggressively fight for you. Lerner Rowe Law Group handles DUI and all other criminal charges. And with our affordable payment plans, it's easier than you think to get the defense you need. If the police made a mistake, call Lerner Rowe today. We're available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to take your call.
Lerner Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Whether it's beer and wings with the guys or a steak or ribs with a special someone, Tavern Grill Scottsdale is a casual sports bar and grill with something for everyone. Visit us today at 8880 East Via Linda, Tavern Grill in Scottsdale.
What are you doing for dinner tonight? Venezia's Pizzeria has a summer of savings deal you don't want to miss. Get an extra large one-item pizza for $13.99. That's more than a 17% savings. Yes, an extra large one-item pizza for only $13.99. Order online, with the app, or when you visit any one of our 6 Valley locations. Just use the code SOS when you order. Available for dine-in, to-go, and even delivery. Order now. Venezias.com. Limit of 5 per order.
In this week's Marketers Report, we hear about the importance of local radio from Allison Griffin, Head of Marketing at State Farm.
iHeart has such a broad broadcast reach that is local, and for us to be able to touch customers with a local feel but at a national scale is so efficient and important for us.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia gives marketers access to the audiences, trusted influencers, and data you need to grow. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartResults.com.
Right now at Wendy's, when you buy either a Dave's single, spicy chicken sandwich, medium frosty, or 10-piece nuggets, you can get another for just $1. Your dollar never tasted so good. So it's obvious what everyone will get, right?
Definitely nugs
Spicy
and
chicken sandwich,
Dave's single and a frosty for
frosty
me.
and a frosty. Okay, who said frosty and a frosty? Pick your obvious choice. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's, buy one, get one for $1.
Limited time only. Price of participation may vary. U.S. Wendy's, valid for item of equal or lesser value. Cannot be combined in a combo or any other offer.
Time for the Valley Chevy Dealers top plays of the week.
Dancing and looking and directing traffic, and look at the length of this play. Murray to the 10, to the 5, and he's going to convert it. That's unbelievable.
Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer. Set up a test drive by heading to valleychevy.com. Now today's top plays on Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B on Fox Sports 910.
Hey, everybody, welcome back. We're hanging out Barrio Queen, Taco Tuesday, and we are here right off Tatum Boulevard and the 101 Desert Ridge Marketplace is where you can find us. It's also El Bandito Yankee Tequila Tuesday as well. We will dive into that as soon as the show is over. It's pretty funny after Jax takes a couple of shots. The stumbling and bumbling, then we have to give him a ride home.
We call Uber, give him a ride.
Yeah, we do. We take care of the boy. Yeah, we do. All right, it is time now to get into our Valley Chevy Dealers Sounds of the Night. And we're going to begin with last night's game with San Francisco and Arizona. And let's start first here with Alec Thomas. And, you know, in order to win ball games, you have to play good defense as well. And Alec Thomas makes a spectacular catch. Thank you to Major League Baseball.
Slams it deep to center. That sounded good. Alec Thomas has got it! Alec Thomas at the wall! You mentioned how good the Diamondbacks have been defensively this year. Boy, this ball sounded like it was going to go a long way.
Boy, it sure did. Off the bat, I thought that was way out of here, but Alec Thomas refuses to give up on any fly ball, chases it all the way to the barrier out there in center field, makes a great leaping catch.
What a play.
And, you know, Jimmy, those are some of the plays you need out in the field if you're struggling. That's kind of that boost or that go-to for this Diamondback team that they're going to need to make. That's just that has to be part of their mantra week in and I should say game in and game out, because that's huge for them to make that kind of play and to keep in the game or stay in a game.
That's it. You have to have solid defense if you're going to continue to be a contender, which the Diamondbacks are a contending team right now for a wild card. And if the Dodgers continue to falter, they might even close in on that top spot in the NL West.
Jimmy, say that again. It's August 1st.
Yes.
2023.
I know.
We haven't said anything like that since 2018. Say that one more time.
Okay. They are a contender, not only for a wild card spot, but also if the Dodgers falter, for the National League West as well. Okay, I can say it again.
Well, no, that's good because it's been a long time coming that you see here on August 1st.
I know.
And the Diamondbacks are just 3.5 games back.
Yep.
And they're in the hunt, and they are what? A contender.
Yes, they are.
For the National League West.
No longer pretender. They are a contender. Speaking of which, they won an extra innings last night. Ketel Marte, big double. Here it is for you. Thank you to MLB.
Marte toward Triple's alley. Matos in pursuit. He won't get there, and it bounces over the wall. Perdomo will score. Marte has to settle for the double. And for the second consecutive extra inning, the first Diamondback hitter gets the go-ahead run home. Boy, he clobbered that one way out there.
And good to see, Jimmy. In the 10th inning, it was Rivera single. They brought McCarthy in.
Right.
You know, Crawford comes back for the Giants and on the Ginkel wild pitch. And then from that standpoint, you come back in the top 11th.
Yep.
You get that ground rule double. Perdomo gets on base. You score, basically. That's the kind of things you're going to need. That's the kind of clutch, come from behind kind of wins that hopefully D-backs can keep up with.
So now we will move to NFL. And with camps now in full swing, there are some guys that are holding out. And this is a very key and important piece of the puzzle for the San Francisco 49er defense. And that is because Bosa, the terrific defensive end, is missing training camp. So here's John Lynch, the general manager of the 49ers.
Nick does. He's a specimen, and he's a specimen because he was blessed with some really good genes. But he's also a specimen because he works as hard as anyone I've ever seen in this game, and his plan is meticulous. It's adjusted each and every year. Having said that, I think there's a point that everybody, as long as I played in year 13, you could say people used to ask, do you need training camp? I needed 3 weeks, I needed that to get ready. And so I don't know what that right time period, we've talked a lot about it internally, but I think that's important to give yourself the best chance to not only play at the highest level, but to stay healthy and get yourself primed and ready, calloused to play.
I hear him say, who knows that right time period is?
Yeah.
I thought he almost said, we don't know what that right extension contract is at this point in time. You know what he's thinking.
Sure.
We don't know what the number's going to be at.
Yeah.
I know he wants the extension. So he's just kind of covered up. I said, well, what's the right time period for him coming into camp and getting himself ready? Because in the back of his head, he's like, see, what can I give him to extend him and get him into camp so he has enough reps when the 49ers kick it off on September 10th.
All right, let's continue with John Lynch a little bit.
2 minutes.
With the 49ers. And the reason is we know that Brock Purdy, when he is healthy and ready to go, he will be the starting quarterback for the 49ers. So how about that Trey Lance guy? I mean, they went out of their way a few years back, Manuch. They gave up a lot of draft capital to move up to draft him. So here is Lynch right now talking about Trey Lance and how much he's gotten better.
I've talked with Trey. I won't get into the details because I'm not exactly sure on how it all happened. But I was proud that it was something that he sought out. And then, I think in the past, maybe Trey was working with multiple people. It's like trying to work with multiple golf coaches. Signals can get mixed. And I think he decided, all right, I got to find one that I vibe with the best and roll with that. And I think they did some great work. And I think he's throwing the football a lot better. His base is better. Some of his mechanics are better. Those things are showing up on the field. So I'm not just proud of him.
All right, so there you go. He should have called the quarterback whisperer, which is my partner, Dan Manuch.
That's right, man. I got him straightened out in the lab.
I know you were.
Like 4 or 5 years ago. He could come out, work out with Brock.
Yep.
We'll get his base up. We'll get his throwing mechanics up. What the hell you been waiting for, Trey? My key question is, we'll catch up with the voice of the 49ers, Greg Papa, here at 2 o'clock. Is he potential trade bait here? Because you got Sam Darnold backing up Brock.
Right.
All intentions are Brock is going to be the guy. He's healthy. You got Sam Darnold. Would they trade him away? But they had 3 quarterbacks going into last year. 2 went down.
They did.
Brock was the number 3, and he played. So interesting to see what John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan do with that number 3 quarterback.
Before we get the break here in just a moment, let me follow up with that because I think you made a good point that they had 3 QBs, and fortunately they did. So do other teams now take a cue from the 49ers, and is that going to be the new norm? Carrying 3 quarterbacks.
Well, that as of this last summer, that is going to be the new norm. Now, the one thing is making sure they're activated.
Okay.
Now, if they're not, they're going to carry 3. Now, whether they're all 3 activated or not, will just have to depend on the other positions, what the need's going to be. But I would say it's rare you go to the 3rd-string quarterback during a game, but they were fortunate. They got rid of Sudfeld. They traded him. They let him go. He got picked up by Detroit.
Yep.
They kept Brock as the number 3 guy. And you had Trey Lance who got hurt. Jimmy G came in for a while, and he got hurt. And then there's Brock. So keeping 3, I think all teams probably will do that.
All right. That is indeed your Valley Chevy Sounds of the Night, all presented by your Chevy Summer Drive. The deals are hot. It's hot in the summer, but all you need to do is just head to your local Valley Chevy new car dealership. You can find a new car, truck, crossover, or SUV, or certified pre-owned vehicles, and you can find them today. Once again, that is your Valley Chevy dealers. Just go to your Valley Chevy dealers today. All right, the Cardinals have the pads on today. This is going to be interesting. Woo, can't wait. Manuch has got a little scooch going on. He's excited. We'll see how excited former Cardinal defensive end Kyle Vanden Bosch is. He's our guest, and he is next. With Jimmy B, Fox Sports 910.
Behold.
Clear.
Here's what's trending on Fox Sports 910 Phoenix.
As the Major League Baseball trade deadline nears, the Diamondbacks are reportedly dealing Andrew Chafin to the Brewers. They acquired infielder Jace Peterson plus cash considerations from the A's for pitcher Chad Patrick. They are also fielding offers for Joe Mantiply. Zach Gallen is on the hill as they go for a second straight win against the Giants. Arizona's Board of Regents are holding a special meeting this afternoon. Reports say the Pac-12's media deal is expected to be a topic of conversation. The Mercury's brief two-game road trip continues in Indiana against the Fever. Brittany Griner is not on the trip, opting to focus on her mental health. I'm Frank Garrity on Fox Sports 910, available everywhere on the free iHeartRadio app.
If you have the first overall pick, make sure you select Twin Peaks for your fantasy football draft party. Stay cool under pressure with 29 draft beers, bites for the whole team, plus a $50 bonus card for the commission and an additional $5 bonus card for every drafter. Visit TwinPeaksRestaurant.com/fantasy draft for more info.
Make the right choice, right Toyota in North Scottsdale. There are so many dealers to choose from, but there's only one that truly cares about the people here in Arizona. Right Toyota is family owned. They are not some huge corporation led by a bunch of bean counters that are all just concerned with the bottom line. The family at Right Toyota invests in the community and local charities. Proceeds from every car sold goes directly back to the people in need. Right Toyota is even dog friendly. If you just want to shop from home, log on to RightToyota.com for their full inventory of new and pre-owned vehicles. That's right, the right place, the right selection, the right people. Right Toyota on Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard in Scottsdale and online at RightToyota.com.
Well, you won't go wrong. I wouldn't have gone wrong. At Right Toyota. Well, you won't go wrong. I wouldn't have gone wrong. At Right Toyota. Well, you won't go wrong. I wouldn't have gone wrong.
What's up, guys? Jason Payne, owner of State 48 Roofing. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook. Hashtag Sexy Roof Status. At State 48 Roofing, we are family owned and operated, born and raised in Arizona. We'd love to give back to our schools and community. Contact us at state48roofing.com.
We're your neighbors. You should stop by for a visit. We're Casino Arizona. Come on in. Our slots are spinning, our dealers are dealing, and everyone's yelling bingo. Isn't it about time you see your friends again? So stop by to say hello. Stay a while. Relax. Enjoy yourself. We'd love to see you again. Hey, this place was made to entertain. We're your Casino, Arizona.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Go to nomoredraftywindows.com for full offer details.
Attention all homeowners. Do you know when to replace your windows? Feeling too hot or cold? It's time to replace. Fog between the glass. Time to replace. Spending too much on expensive energy that literally goes out the window? It's definitely time to replace. If you've put off replacing windows,
Kyle's ready to go.
Expensive. Here's great news. You can now get a free in-home window consultation and free price quote from Renewal by Andersen, the company with the most 5-star reviews among leading full-service window replacement companies. And right now you can save $359 off every window and $887 off every door. Just text
better at my job than the Pac-12 commissioner. Nah.
Top quality affordable windows or patio doors for $0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for a year. That's right.
Have you guys just roasted? Like, I tweeted this out a few days ago. This was all because of Larry fucking Scott. That guy had no fucking clue what he was doing.
And this month, text SCREAM to 200-300.
In-game parlays, props, live betting, and so much more. Use code SPORTS when you sign up on the DraftKings Sportsbook app to check it out.
Exactly. And it's all those teams leaving just means ASU can actually win a Pac-12 title. So I make a joke. All right, you guys are live.
All right, everybody, welcome back. We're broadcasting live today. Barrio Queen in Desert Ridge Marketplace. That's where you can find us today. Come on in and say hello. Jax will take pictures with you and kiss babies. He's good at that.
I'll sign autographs for free.
Oh, man. Nobody cares about us, Manuch.
I got that black pen.
Yeah.
It's
you always carry a Sharpie.
I've had it for like 30 years. It's still not out of ink. The hell? I'm ready to go, though,
A
man.
guy who would indeed sign autographs with a Sharpie. He's former Arizona Cardinal, Titans, and Lions defensive end, and you can always find him on Twitter at KVandenBosch93. It is indeed Kyle Vanden Bosch who is our guest. Kyle, as always, welcome to the show. How are you, pal?
I'm doing really well. How are you guys?
We're doing great. How excited are you? Because Manuch is like over the moon that they actually have pads on today, and there might be some hitting at Cardinal camp.
Yeah, but did they use them, Kyle? That's the question.
Yeah, right. Right. Yeah, I'm telling you, I can still remember. I think my favorite day of the year was when we finally got to put pads on off-season teams, and it is so long. That it never really feels, particularly for linemen, it never really feels like football until you get the pads on. And, I was excited yesterday that they were going to put pads on because they were allowed to, and was a little disappointed that they didn't. But I think we will know a lot about this team by watching how they practice, how physical they are with pads. It was, one of the first things that Jonathan Gannon talked about was how violent of a sport it was, and how physical this team was going to be. And, all the indications we get coming out of the Cardinals is they're, going to be a run-first team. A lot of their runs are probably going to be downhill between the tackle runs. And so, I'm really curious to see how this offensive line is fitting together, what type of movement they can get up front, for fans that are out there watching the open practice today, it might be a boring practice because this may be an offense that's, a successful play for this offense, might be a 4-yard run between the tackles, but and that's not always what, keeps people glued to the television sets or, gets people to come out to games to watch. But it's a bit of a throwback, but in my opinion, it's a winning brand of football.
Kyle, it's interesting that, you hear run game, we're going to go downhill. And the first thing I think of, I tell myself, that's all well and good. You got to have a pretty good offensive line that can enmesh pretty good, have good chemistry. And then on top of that, if it's going to be physical, do you have the depth with the offensive line in order to do that? So it's kind of a twofold scenario. I love it. I get it. Control the game with your running game, but you have the backups that can spot fill because of how physical it's going to be for 17 games.
No, I think you're right. But I do think, I think they have better depth than they've had in past years. I don't know that the starting five, I think DJ Humphries is, he's obviously been to a Pro Bowl. He's a really good left tackle. And I think, Paris Johnson Jr. has looked really good, over there at right tackle. Other than that, I don't know that anybody else on the line would ever be considered elite or even top 10 at their position. But, those two, Manuch, some of the best offensive lines are full of guys that you never heard of. It's just they're well coached. They work well together. So, the biggest thing, look, the wheels fell off last year. There was so many things you could point to as reasons why, but they never had continuity across that offensive line. And a lot of it is just the luck that you're handed throughout the course of the season. And good teams adjust. They find guys and they coach them up and fit them in. But it seemed like every week a different offensive lineman was out of the lineup. So, I think they do have more depth than they had last year because I think they will have quality backups. But I think the biggest thing is once that starting five is locked in, fully determined, that they just get the opportunity to work together for an extended period of time and hopefully stay healthy throughout the course of the season.
All right, Kyle. So I'm watching some of the highlights of, you mentioned Paris Johnson Jr. against Zaven Collins. And is Paris Johnson that good, or is Zaven Collins not used to that position? Because there's a couple, 2 or 3 times, Paris Johnson Jr. threw him around like a rag doll. Yep. Got rid of him, pushed him out here and there. Is that a Zaven Collins thing, or is that a Paris Johnson Jr. is just that athletic and that good at that right tackle spot?
Yeah, I don't know if it's an either or. I think it could be both. I think Paris Johnson is as advertised. He's looked the part. I think he's stepped in and played really well throughout training camp up to this point. I am just speaking on him specifically. I am curious. I know how athletic he is. I know how smooth he is and light on his feet. He's quick. It'll be interesting to see today when the pads come on, if they have like a 9-on-7 period or a short yardage period, if he's able to move a defensive lineman off the ball, either by himself or as a part of a double team combination block. That's kind of what I'm curious, because he's tall.
Yeah.
He's long. The ability to bend and sink his hips, that still remains to be seen at this level. But yeah, I mean, David Collins is going to take time. I know what he's done through the summer has been hyped up a lot, but the pass rushers, some pass rushers are born. You just have the gifts. But I'm not sure he's that type of athlete. I think it's going to take him time to learn what his move is and what type of move he can set up, and really just what he can hang his hat on. Now, it is a different story when pads come on. I mean, when you are pass rushing in helmets, typically you can't bull rush. And I'm not saying Zaven is going to bull rush Paris Johnson Jr., but if you have that in your repertoire, that pretty much sets up anything else you want to do. If they aren't worried about getting run over or you sticking your helmet in their chest and driving them back into the pocket, it's so much easier for those offensive linemen, particularly offensive tackles. So, we'll see how that matchup shakes out. But, I expected slow progress and growing pains with Zaven Collins as he learns a completely new position.
Kyle Vanden Bosch is our guest on the Right Toyota guest line. Let me follow up then, Kyle, with what you're discussing here. If indeed this experiment is not working by preseason game number 2, do they change course and switch him back to his more natural position at linebacker?
I don't know, because I don't know at this point on this roster which guy is going to step up and provide more production. I mean, even if he isn't super productive, with the exception of the success that Dennis Gardeck had in limited reps one season, they don't have that guy on the roster. I mean, it's not like there's somebody with a proven record in the NFL that is backing up Zaven Collins. So, quite frankly, I expect there to be growing pains all across this roster and throughout this season. And that's not to say that there has been any regression, because I am optimistic about the future of the Arizona Cardinals. I just don't know that we'll see immediate results this year. You take, for example, even Colt McCoy, who's a polished vet, who's been referred to as a player coach and has been in just about every offense. He's had his struggles throughout this training camp. And a lot of it is the new terminology and the completely new system. And if Colt McCoy is struggling right now, you have to assume that every player on the roster is really, struggling with learning this new system. So, I do expect the team as a whole, they will show good things. They will be disciplined, but I think that, for example, Kirk Cousins just talked about he finally feels comfortable in his new offense. He had a lot of success. They won a lot of games last season. They made it to the playoffs, had one of his better statistical years, but he didn't feel like he had a full grasp of the offense last year. So you have to imagine that these quarterbacks and running backs, wide receivers, everybody on that side of the ball, it's going to take them some time to really feel comfortable in this new offense.
Well, and Kyle leads me to, watching, you talk about backups with Zaven Collins. You got Cameron Thomas and Myjai Sanders. I look at Cameron Thomas. He looks a little bigger to me. He looks like maybe a slimmer version of one Kyle Vanden Bosch from back in the day. But I watch him work, and you watch, the highlights and all this stuff. You watch both of them. Thomas went back to San Diego. He got after it. Sanders got after in the offseason. So when you watch those two, and let's say Zaven Collins starts to struggle, who would be the odds on to pop in there? Or would be a combination of all three of them?
Yeah, it's probably some sort of combination. I mean, the truly good pass rushing teams don't have one or two guys. You rotate, keep your ends fresh, keep your inside guys fresh, so that they're not getting beat because they're tired. I mean, defensive line is tough, and I expect there, even if, a couple of those players separate themselves as starters, throughout the course of the game, the reps get split up pretty equally between the guys that are dressed. I mean, you don't have that many defensive line dressed on game day, and so everybody's got to split up the reps. So, I think everybody will get that opportunity. And it is interesting to try to guess whether Cam Thomas or Myjai Sanders, which one will take a big step, or maybe both will take a big step, or maybe neither. But it's concerning to me. We're early in camp. Myjai Sanders already, he's been missing valuable reps. In order for him to take that step, he needs those reps on the practice field. I hope he doesn't get too far behind. A lot of it's not just knowing the defense; it's getting in playing shape. It's being able to recognize plays because you've repped it over and over and over. So, as a second-year player, I'm hoping that whatever he's dealing with his hand, he's able to come back from pretty quickly.
It's always great, pal, when you come on the show with us. Thank you as always, Kyle. Have a great day.
You guys too. I appreciate it.
Okay. Kyle Vandenbosch, there you go. And you can always follow him on Twitter at KVandenbosch93. And he is presented by All City Towing. And All City Towing is continuing to grow, and they have a huge fleet and a lot of new vehicles, and they need you. If you're looking for a new gig, just go to allcitytowing.com and search careers. That's allcitytowing.com and search careers. They pay very well. They have incredible benefits. They have a 50% match option as well on a 401k program. Fastest way to get a new job at All City Towing, just go online. allcitytowing.com and search careers. All right, coming up, it is On This Day. We will take you back in time. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, Fox Sports 910.
Check this out. This is The Herd. You're excited. I'm excited.
With Colin Cowherd.
Kansas City pays Chris Jones, an elite defender up front, and then just
All right, I'm rolling. Thank you.
Hey, sports fans, celebrate every big game with El Bandito Yankee, an ultra-premium tequila made from 100% Blue Weber agave in the highlands of Jalisco. Their certified additive-free Blanco and Reposado features a unique oxygenation process for a rich smoothness without that tequila burn. It's why they won platinum and gold medals and are now listed as one of the world's top tequilas by Rolling Stone. Head over to your local store, favorite bar, or restaurant in all 7 Barrio Queen locations. Go to elbanditoyankee.com and break out the Bandito with the official tequila of game day.
Any car dealer in Arizona can compete on price. That's what dealers do. But not many dealers can compete on customer satisfaction. Like Wright Toyota. Make the right choice. Wright Toyota in Scottsdale, just off the 101 on Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard, and online at wrighttoyota.com.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Twin Peaks is always adding exciting cocktails to the menu, like the expertly balanced Sincoro Hall of Fame Margarita. Try it at your local lodge today.
Hi, I'm Burt Ward, Robin from TV's Batman, inviting you to feed your dog natural, non-GMO, Gentle Giants dog and puppy food. Dogs eating Gentle Giants and following our special feeding and care program are living as long as 27 healthy, active years with a wonderful quality of life. Holy wow, 27 years! Think of all the extra years you could enjoy with your dog at Target, H-E-B, and stores near you. Try Gentle Giants cat and kitten food, too.
Your home is the place where you know your loved ones are secure. But the things that keep your home protected can't keep pests at bay. That's where RAID comes in. For 60 years, RAID scientists have worked to protect people around the world with trusted research, ingredients, testing standards, and product efficacy. RAID seeks to create a better future for all, especially the ones you love most. Raid. Protection for all.
Break out the Bandito and experience the El Bandito Yankee Tequila. It's another El Bandito Yankee Tequila Tuesday. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B are live from one of the 7 Valley Barrio Queen locations. Now back to the guys live from Barrio Queen on Fox Sports 910 and the iHeartRadio app.
Hey, everybody, we're here at Desert Ridge Marketplace. That's where you can find this great crowd on hand right now, having a good time, enjoying terrific Barrio Queen food and drinks. It is also Taco Tuesday and El Bandito Yankee Tequila Tuesday as well. Time now for On This Day as we take you back in time.
Well, I'm going to go back to 1985 when this outstanding base stealer and player, Vince Coleman, he steals 2 bases in the first inning of the Cardinals' 9-8 loss to the Cubs. Touring a season total to 74, that being August 1st, 1985, breaking the Major League rookie record of 72 set the previous season by Juan Samuel. You forget about Juan Samuel, how he became a power hitter.
Yeah.
A squeeze bunt by Larry Boa with the bases full in the 14th. Scores a winning run. Boa had an earlier triple with the sacks full. The game takes 5 hours and 3 minutes to end. So you can go to that ball game, you can get your nap, you can have your 3 square meals a day, and your game set match. But Vince Coleman, what an outstanding player.
He was a good
really
player.
Was
Yep.
for that St. Louis Cardinals team. 2005, we all remember this. Rafael Palmeiro becomes the highest profile player to be suspended for violating Major League Baseball's steroids policy. The Orioles first baseman who denied knowingly taking any banned substances stated this spring to the House Government Reform Committee. Remember that?
Yep. He held his finger at him and pointed at him.
He sure did. That published the allegations by Jose Canseco of his steroid use were absolutely false and had considered suing his former teammate over the accusations. Well, if they were false, Rafael, why didn't you sue him?
Yeah, he never did.
Came to find out, and there's another one of the great hitters that will probably never
get in.
Be in the Hall of Fame.
You're right.
11 years ago, in 2012, 8 women badminton players, they were disqualified from the Summer Olympics in trying to lose matches on purpose to get more favorable matchups later in the tournament. I remember this.
Do you really?
I remember this because...
Wait a minute, are you a badminton aficionado?
Because it was a Olympic update.
Okay.
And they were having all these trials and going forward. I went, badminton? I knew it was a sport, but they were trying to lose on purpose to get more favorable positioning. I mean, there again, that's an era of participation trophies. Hey, let's lose on purpose so we have lesser competition.
And we can go get a Happy Meal.
Whatever.
Yeah.
And rightfully so. They were disqualified.
I cannot believe I
forgot
forgot all about badminton.
Have you seen, I don't know, folks, if you've ever seen the badminton Olympic competition.
It's tremendous.
Chinese, Japanese, Taiwanese, South Koreanese, all of them. Phenomenal. That ping pong.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that ping pong.
Oh, I know.
And I can almost imagine pickleball. What's going to be coming next? But I remember that happening. I went, oh, yeah, trying to lose on purpose? Well, that's just called tanking nowadays in our sports.
Of course, yeah, that's nothing
in our genre. And then also coming up here this week, it'll be the Jets and Browns on NBC. It'll be the Hall of Fame game. Hall of Fame ceremonies will be on Saturday. By the way, we'll catch up with Hank Bauer on Thursday. Hank Bauer played with the Chargers because Eric Coryell, Don Coryell will be going in. Hank will be headed back to going back to the Hall of Fame in Canton.
For him.
We'll catch up with him, and we'll talk about Don Coryell, the great coach he was, that Eric Coryell, and
Dan
Fouts,
John Jefferson,
Kellen Winslow.
Oh, man.
You had Westbrook.
Yeah, they had players.
They had players up the wazoo. And then for you, Jimmy, the U.S. Open.
Yeah.
Right around the corner, starts August 28th. And there's 3 things I think of that Labor Day weekend. Number one, September 3rd. What a phenomenal day that is, because I'll be 45 once again.
Richie, turn his microphone off, will you, so I don't have to hear about his birthday.
And here's the thing. That's the opening of college football season.
It is.
You'll love it because they've got football Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And Labor Day is the 4th. That's Monday. You got to love that. You have the U.S. Open.
Yeah.
And then in the tennis. And then there's this other thing called football is just 1 week away. that'll be getting ready to go. That'd be in the National Football League.
You know, it's so funny here in Manuch because we're so excited for football, and then we'll watch that preseason game.
Damn right.
And after about 10 minutes, you're going, God, this is awful.
I remember.
Why am I watching this?
I remember watching before that, going back to 1974-75, they stopped. They would have the college all-stars taking on the world champions.
Correct.
Or they'd have a team in the National Football League. It was the Bears or it was the Steelers. The last one they ever played was the Chicago Bears taking on the college all-stars. It was a tremendous thunderstorm. Lightning, thunder, the very last one. I think they got out of there in the end of the third quarter, said, enough of this.
Yeah.
But prior to the Hall of Fame game, there was the All-Star game where they would pick, typically it was the winner of the Super Bowl. Then they started picking random teams to play in that game. So, yeah, Jimmy, the pads are done. It is time for a little football.
All I can tell you is that within the first 10 minutes, there's going to be guys on the field you've never heard of.
And for the Cardinals, first preseason game, the 11th against the Denver Broncos, they got to find some answers.
They do.
As to who's going to play. We were talking about B.J.
Ojulari, yeah.
In reference to they've got him penned in to start. He's still struggling with, I forget what the injury is, but they need him on the field.
Yeah.
They need him to get reps. We just heard Kyle Vandenbosch talk about Jay Sanders. Need him on the field. Need to get reps if you're going to get these guys ready to go. So it's football season, and there's a delicate balance, Jimmy, as to how much you play somebody, how much you don't. But I think for this Arizona Cardinals team, I think you're going to see a lot of reps leading into the regular season on September 10th.
What do you got, Jax?
I am very excited to see Michael Wilson.
Yeah,
what I've been seeing from camp from him, I mean, you get rid of DeAndre Hopkins, and you kind of need that big body on the outside. I'm super excited to see what this kid's got. I think he's a potential future number one wide receiver.
He's got the Larry Fitzgerald type body.
He does, yep.
6'2", 6'3", pushing about 200 pounds. For him, like any of these other receivers,
1 minute.
Just stay healthy. Just stay. Don't be pulling any hammies or quads.
Yeah.
Just be ready to go come out the chute on September 10th.
All right, we're hanging out here at the Barrio Queen. Desert Ridge Marketplace is where you can find us. It is indeed Taco Tuesday. It is also El Bandito Yankee Tequila Tuesday as well. Coming up in hour number 2, we're going to head to San Francisco, have a conversation with the voice of the 49ers, Greg Papa. Yes, we are going to get some Brock Purdy conversation in, Manuch, as well as our El Bandito Yankee Tequila Pick'em contest with the founder, Jim Bob Morris. It's all coming your way as we continue to broadcast from the Barrio Queen in Desert Ridge. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B on Fox Sports 910.
Clear.
I often get asked, how can Lerner & Rowe effectively handle DUI and criminal
Okay,
cases
so Richie,
when you guys are a personal injury law
so
firm?
let's
The
call
answer
him
is
like
simple.
at 2:05.
Good at
He
it.
gets
Lerner
off
&
here
Rowe Law
at
Group
2.
is a separate law firm
So
from Lerner & Rowe
give him a
Injury
few
Training.
minutes,
We
okay?
have some of the most experienced
Copy that.
attorneys
Yeah.
available,
Go back to it,
including one of only a few certified criminal attorneys in Arizona who have handled thousands of criminal and DUI cases. And we offer affordable payment plans. Getting the defense you need is one phone call away.
Lerner & Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
It's the Chevy Summer Drive. See your Valley Chevy dealers today during the Chevy Summer Drive. Summer's here and so are the Chevy offers. See your Valley Chevy dealers today during the Chevy Summer Drive and find your new car, truck, crossover, or SUV or certified pre-owned vehicle today. Summer is hot and so are the deals going on now at your Valley Chevy dealers. Don't miss the savings happening now during the Chevy Summer Drive. See your Valley Chevy dealers for the best deals and the selection today.
Did you do it yet? Have you opened the free iHeartRadio app and listened to this station to be entered to win $5,000? Each day you come back to listen on the iHeartRadio app is another entry for $5,000 in cash. It pays to listen on the free iHeartRadio app. Download it today.
Packing for your summer road trip? Leave the travel guide at home and bring the Autio app along for the ride. Autio brings any drive to life with fascinating stories about the places you go, all narrated by expert storytellers. Browse through Autio's more than 10,000 fascinating location-based tales to inspire your travel itinerary and discover unique destinations along the way. Wherever summer takes you, make your next drive an adventure with Autio, the perfect companion for your next road trip. Learn more at autio.com.
In this week's Marketers Report, We learn about the value of local influencers in uncertain times from Allison Griffin, head of marketing at State Farm.
The economy is tough for everyone, and taking a step back and understanding the pain that your customers are currently going through because of a tough environment is really important. We have 19,000 agents across the country, and they understand what's going on in those very unique communities. iHeart has such a broad broadcast
Hey, Rich,
reach
don't worry about
that
the
is local, connected, and for us to be able to touch customers with a local feel, but at a national scale,
just gotta shoot the
is so
BS a little bit
efficient and
before you pull
important
up
for
like
us.
Greg.
As the number one audio company, iHeartMedia gives marketers access to all, from national to local. Every audience, live conversations, trusted influencers, and the insights and data you need to grow. Not just a media company. iHeartMedia is your access company. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartResults.com.
The Herd with Colin Cowherd. Tomorrow from 10 to 1. This is KGME Phoenix, KESC HD2 Phoenix. Listen on the free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts.
Now away from the MLB trade deadline, the Diamondbacks have reportedly dealt Andrew Chafin to the Brewers. And last night they also acquired infielder Jace Peterson in cash from the A's for pitcher Chad Patrick. They've also been fielding offers for Joe Mantiply. Meanwhile, Zach Gallen is on the hill as they go for a second straight win against the Giants. Arizona's Board of Regents holding a special meeting today. Reports say the Pac-12's media deal is expected to be a topic of conversation. The Mercury's road trip continues in Indiana against the Fever. Brittany Griner not on the trip, opting to focus on her mental health instead. I'm Frank Arity on Fox Sports 910, available everywhere on the free iHeartRadio app.
This is the Parker & Sons Weather Center. For all your AC, plumbing, and electric needs, call Parker.
For your Tuesday, for temperatures top.
Yeah, just get fine. We got a couple. We got a little
slight chance of
little hit here on
isolated showers out there for tonight.
From
With
Shane
those temperatures
Dale.
dipping down into those upper 80s. For the Fox 10 weather experts, I'm Ty Brennan.
This report is sponsored by NewACUnit.com.
Nobody wants to replace their AC unit, but when you choose NewACUnit.com, you can get a brand name unit with professional installation, all backed by a 100% money back guarantee.
Save thousands, save time, buy online, NewACUnit.com.
Calling all sports with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Proudly sponsored by On Air Sports Marketing. And is powered by the injury attorneys Lerner and Rowe. In Iraq and need a check? Make one call, that's all. 602-977-1900. And always online at lernerandrowe.com. Now time for Calling All Sports with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. On Fox Sports 910.
Hey, everybody, we're broadcasting live today. Always better than the alternative. Here at the Barrio Queen, Desert Ridge Marketplace is where you can find us. It is Taco Tuesday. They have a great crowd right now having lunch, and actually it's kind of brunchy now. Also, it's an El Bandito Yankee Tequila Tuesday as well. We will be doing shots following the show.
You will. I got to go do some training. Got to make sure I'm thinking straight and it's all good.
Yeah.
And maybe a little bit later on tonight, I'm
There
gonna
you
have
go,
a
yes.
big old margarita.
That'll work.
In light of Taco Tuesday at El Bandito Yankee Tequila Tuesday.
The play-by-play voice, Greg Papa of the San Francisco 49ers, is going to join us here in a little bit. We're going to dive into Brock Purdy, how he's doing, and also the 49ers. But before we do that, more reporting coming out about the so-called Pac-12 media rights TV deal. This report from Shane Dale indicating that Arizona State, along with Utah, are now seriously considering making the jump to the Big 12.
Well, that's all that potential we've been talking about.
Yep.
And if you're going to have an even Steven, so to speak, for the Big 12, it's the 2, which would be Arizona, which has been reported would be the 14.
Right.
And if you're going to go 2 more, ASU and Utah, that'd be the 16 that the Big 12 wants. And folks, the Board of Regents, Arizona Board of Regents, are having a meeting at 3:30. Be interesting to see if the Shane Dale report holds accurate. But if that's reporting that this is at this point in time being reported, it makes sense, Jimmy.
Yeah, well, it makes sense.
It totally
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
The report coming out by Pete Thamel of ESPN talking about the lack of media rights from the Pac-12. There was nothing there this morning.
Nothing.
George Kliakoff said it lasted about an hour.
Yeah.
That that Apple may be the platform, and a lot of it will be based on subscriptions, the incentive packages within the TV package.
Correct.
To say whether it gets to $20 million a year per team or 25 has got some incentives and ties to it. Who the hell wants to go ahead and get subscriptions? Hey, ASU alum, hey, can you guys go subscribe to Apple if you haven't? I mean, that would be the remaining 9 teams, if they stay that way.
Right.
Would have to go to all their alumni and all those interested
fans
to subscribe to Apple. And then we're going to keep track of, well, ASU has got 1,000 extra subscriptions. U of A's got this many. Hey, Cal had 5,000 subscriptions. Are they going to base it on like a commission scenario?
Who knows?
Okay, you're going to get 20 million. Hey, U of A, you had a ton of subscriptions. You're getting 23. Stanford, man, you kick butt. You're up there in the Bay Area. That's your wheelhouse there with Apple and all of them up there, Microsoft. You're going to get 24 million a year. That's ludicrous, Jimmy.
I'm with you.
Teams don't want to do that.
No.
And if you're Michael Crow and Ray Anderson, how would you buy into that?
You can't.
Well, you've got a league. If they want you, I can't imagine the Big 12 not wanting them. And if you're the Big 12 that goes, hey, ASU, hey, Utah, hey, U of A, we already got Colorado.
Right.
They're good. We're going to give you $31 million first year with a chance to grow that year in and year out. Well, hell, let me see. The common sense factor tells me I can't sign up fast enough if I've got all this stuff tied to a potential TV package with Apple. And on top of that, it's all streaming.
Mm-hmm.
No cable, no
over-the-air TV,
over-the-air or
nothing.
cable or whatever. Yep. And I know that society's going that way, but there's a lot of Joe Blows that don't want to go down that road.
You got
so
that
right now, Pac-12's got nothing as far as TV rights are concerned.
We advertised Greg Papa was going to be our guest, longtime voice of the San Francisco 49ers. Also does a sports talk show on KNBR Radio, where I did Sports Phone 68 back in the 70s.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, Jimmy.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, bud. Yeah. Sports Phone 68.
Am I talking to Dave? Am I talking to Dave Newhouse here?
Dave Newhouse. Dave Newhouse wrote.
Dave Newhouse invented it.
He wrote columns about me. He wrote columns about me.
And Greg, Jimmy also spent some time in Buffalo. Back in the day.
Well, WKBW or WGR?
No, the Empire Sports Network.
Oh, no. Well, I know that well.
Yep.
So you did sports phone. So Newhouse.
Yes.
I'm switching to my car phone here. So I hope I don't lose you. I'm just going to jump in my car. I'm leaving the 49 of practice right now. So hopefully it's
no, you're good. We hear you fine, Greg. Yeah, we hear you.
I'm going to switch over in a second. When I first got to the Bay Area,
you're good.
They had, Gene Washington.
Yes.
Remember the great 49er wide receiver, former Stanford Cardinal? He was doing Sports Phone 68, but there was a columnist out here who worked for the Oakland Tribune.
Correct.
That started that years ago, a guy named Dave Newhouse. So, wow, you're going back.
I can tell you right now that I was on the air before Newhouse started doing that full time. So I was I was the sports director at KNTV, and I did and I did play-by-play. I did Warriors. I did some minor league baseball.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Who am I talking to? Who am I talking to here?
Jimmy Brinson.
Yeah.
The one and only Jimmy Brinson, Greg.
So
you did the Warriors game? I did the Warrior games. That's why I moved out here in '86. Was into the Warrior games.
All right.
Wow.
So Bill King did the Warriors and the and the Raiders. So when Bill
and the A's,
and the A's. So when Bill would have conflicts, I would do the Warriors game. And here's a quick story for you.
No. Let's
I'm going to tell him the story real fast.
I love this. Hold on, Manuch. We're catching up.
All right. Here's the quick story.
Buffalo kid.
I'm the only guy ever, Greg. I'm the only guy ever to do an NBA game on the East Coast when I did the Warriors and Washington Bullets, catch a flight back into Oakland, run to the Oakland Coliseum, and do the Stompers game, the Oakland Stompers of the North American Soccer League, on radio.
Oh, my God.
And they were both
on the same day?
On the same day, and they were both on KNBR radio.
How's that even physically possible? What were the start times? That's not possible.
The start time in the East was noon.
Oh, so 9 a.m.
Yes.
9 a.m. West.
Yes.
Are you two
Okay,
done?
we're done.
Are you guys done?
Okay, we're done.
I just. Well, the hell is Brock Purdy? This man's a Superman.
Yes, please get to Brock Purdy, the 49ers. Would you, Greg? Jeez.
Fill us in on how he's looking to do and how everything's going.
Now he's doing great. Just a few minutes ago, and that was the talk on sports radio here. Was about Brock, and the injury occurred January the 29th in Philly, and we thought he was going to have the surgery on February 21. I remember you had him on, Dan, at the Super Bowl, and we had him on too on Radio Road, and that got delayed. Dr. Meister saw some inflammation, and it was done March the 10th, and then he's back at practice the first day. Less than 6 months after the injury, and 4.5 months actually after the surgery. And I had his dad on, Sean Purdy, was on the radio with me a couple of days ago. And, Sean's a minor league pitcher, actually in the San Francisco Giants chain. That's for the Phoenix Giants for a while. They lived down there. Anyway, he oversaw it all, knew his rehab guy, Coker. And Brock's just amazing. I was just thinking about it today. You learn a lot about a guy, obviously, in the circumstances and how he got into the lineup and played. But then you also learn about how he handles adversity. And this is, it's not life and death, but his career had a major pause, and he handled it so amazingly. Everything he does. And there's also an injury. You got to be careful about working too hard, too bad.
Yeah.
He didn't do it the right way. And then, honestly, watching him in the practice field, Sam, he's throwing the ball better. I think he's got more velocity, and when you have a full-blown Tommy John, and they go in and they take a ligament from somewhere else, and they wrap it a second time. A lot of baseball pitchers come back and they're throwing harder. He didn't have the Tommy John; he had the internal brace. But there's something in that elbow that they've left in there, and I don't know what it's made of. But I'm equipment guys are giving me the readings, and they're telling me the GPS tracker and the velocity. He's throwing the ball a little harder than he did even pre-surgery. So everybody's so excited about everything he did. But it's just another example of what a special guy Brock Purdy is and why we call him the Black Star.
And I'd say a lot of that is he's finally getting that body into it. I've been telling him that since 9th grade. Use your body, use your shoulder, use your hip. So he's almost being forced to be more mechanically sound. Not that he wasn't before, Greg, but to that point, from that standpoint, the Brock Purdy report. Talk to us about the Nick Bosa report before we get you out of here.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a while, honestly. I think it's going to be, we're going to scrimmage the Raiders next week in Vegas. I don't think we'll be on that trip. I don't know if he's going to sign before we play any games. It's going to be a big contract. It's going to be the biggest contract in the history of the franchise. It's going to be the biggest contract probably in the history of the league, non-quarterback. I think his guy Brian Arod from CAA is trying to get Aaron Donald money a little more. So it's going to be big. I'm just hoping, he's got to show up in Pittsburgh first game of the year. He can't get into that. I remember OJ, I think before you were even a Bill, after he went for 2003 and 73, he didn't sign the morning of the game against the Raiders on Monday Night Football to start 74. He signed that morning. He went out and played. He wasn't quite OJ. They still won. So I don't think it's going to be that kind of deal where he signs the day of the game or that weekend. I'm hoping, what I think is, get him in by Labor Day, Monday, and then have him come back and start practice on Wednesday before the season opener in Pittsburgh. But I think this one's going to take a while. It's going to stretch into the start of the year. His older brother, Joey, he missed his first couple of games. He didn't come and sign. I think Tom Condon Sr. was his agent. And now he's got A-Roll, too, from the same firm, CAA. But I remember I saw his first game against the Raiders. I called that game. He had 2 sacks that day. So he was great right away. But you don't want him to have to miss any time. So I think it'll take almost all the preseason, but let's just hope he's in by Labor Day Monday.
30 seconds. Are they going to keep Trey Lance, or will they unload him?
I don't know. That's the big determination. Sam Darnold. That was great thing about the Brock injury is Brock had the surgery on March the 10th. The new league year started that Monday. They signed Sam Darnold right away because they weren't sure about Brock. With the elbow, Trey was coming off an ankle, 2 surgeries. So you got Sam Darnold. I'm a huge fan of Sam Darnold. Then they got Brandon Allen, who was backing up Burrow the last couple of years, so they like him. So I don't know. These preseason games are going to be big for Trey Lance, whether it's trade market or to force his way on the team. But, last year they had a lot of problems with quarterbacks getting hurt. So I would not be shocked if they kept 4, but you'd like to do it 3 on the 53, 1 on the practice squad. So to answer your question, it's a big training camp for Trey Lance.
Well, please tell Brock I said hi. Tell him no slacking and Cadillacing. Remember that right there, Greg. No slacking and Cadillacing. Give him my best. Give him a little bro hug and say, Coach Manucci says, let's go.
Sports Phone 68 back in the 70s. Wow.
Yeah,
I can't believe it.
The general manager was Bill Heyer or something like that.
Bill Dwyer.
Yes.
Bill Dwyer.
Bill Dwyer. That's the guy. Yeah, he hired me.
He hired me, too, to do the Warriors. The national sales guy was Jay Barrington.
There you go. Yeah. We got to let you go because we're tight on time. But I also covered OJ when he signed with the 49ers and his last year with them.
Well, that wasn't a signing. That was a trade.
A trade, yeah.
How many team to get OJ?
What's that?
I gave up the whole team to get OJ. That was the Joe Thomas trade, not a good trade.
Yeah. All right, pal. It's always great to have you on the show. Thank you, buddy.
Thanks, Greg.
We got to do it next time.
That'll be great.
Bye, buddy. Love you.
There you go. That's Greg Papa, everybody. You can catch him on KNBR Radio from 10 until 2 with the talk show. And then, of course, you can listen to him on radio as he is the play-by-play voice of the San Francisco 49ers. Little reminiscing there, Manuch.
We noticed. Please move on.
Coming up, it's our El Bandito Yankee Tequila test. You get a chance to win a $25 gift card if indeed you can beat the El Bandito Yankee Tequila owner and former Kansas State Wildcat, because Manuch always tells me to read the teases exactly as they're written.
That's right.
All right, I'll read it as exactly as it's written. Beat the El Bandito Yankee Tequila owner and former Kansas Jayhawk and Green Bay Packer Jim Bob Morris. He's coming up next. Just call 602-260-9191. We are live at the Barrio Queen. Roc and Manuch
your butt
with Jimmy B. Fox Sports 910.
Football is almost here. Hear the sweet sounds of Jacksonville and Dallas preseason football next Saturday at 1:30 on Fox Sports 910. Presented by HornCars.com. That's HORME Cars.com.
Hey, it's Coach. Join me, Bauer, and Jackson every Saturday from 11 to 1 live from the Sportsbook at the CAZ Sports Bar at Casino, Arizona for Take the Points. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar.
What are you doing for dinner tonight? Venezia's Pizzeria has a summer of savings deal you don't want to miss. Get an extra large one-item pizza for $13.99. That's more than a 17% savings. Yes, an extra large one-item pizza for only $13.99. Order online, with the app, or when you visit any one of our 6 Valley locations. Just use the code SOS when you order. Available for dine-in, to-go, and even delivery. Order now. Venezias.com. Limit of 5 per order.
See your Valley Chevy dealers today during the Chevy Summer Drive going on now. New inventory is arriving daily. Don't miss your chance for some great deals this summer. See your Valley Chevy dealers for the best deals and the best selection during the Chevy Summer Drive today.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch? Every day, from lunch to late night. Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Stick around after the sun sets. Twin Peaks is open really late. Wind down with bourbon and late night bites.
Hi, Hi, I'm Burt Ward, Robin from TV's Batman, inviting you to feed your dog natural, non-GMO, Gentle Giants dog and puppy food. Dogs eating Gentle Giants and following our special feeding and care program are living as long as 27 healthy, active years with a wonderful quality of life. Holy wow, 27 years! Think of all the extra years you could enjoy with your dog at Target, H-E-B, and stores near you. Try Gentle Giants cat and kitten food, too.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go, shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Break out the Bandito and experience the El Bandito Yankee Tequila. It's another El Bandito Yankee Tequila Tuesday. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B are live from one of the 7 Valley Barrio Queen locations. You're live. Now back to the guys live from Barrio Queen on Fox Sports 910 and the iHeartRadio app.
All right, everybody, welcome back in. We're hanging out at the Barrio Queen Desert Ridge. It is Taco Tuesday, also an El Bandito Yankee Tequila Tuesday as well, and we're hanging out with Jelly Roll. Oh, no, he just said he wanted that kind of style when I would introduce him. It is indeed Jim Bob Morris, the former K-State Wildcat and Green Bay Packers. And Manuch is already fired up with the tequila scream.
Football season, man.
That's it. He's excited. Jim Bob, how are you, pal?
Great, guys. I tell you what, is that, we had our first concert with Jelly Roll, who we signed to a lucrative sponsorship deal for Jelly Roll. Not so lucrative for me yet, but we had Jelly in Alpharetta, Georgia, and he's coming to Arizona to see us soon. And so we just, we did the first tour. It was the first tour, and so a lot of things we got to fine tune, but. We poured a lot of shots on stage with some lucky fans, and we had El Bandito on the stage all night, so that was great. And just busy, man. I mean, between the IndyCar series, we're going to Nashville this weekend on Sunday. We got Indy racing on the streets of Nashville. We got NASCAR. We got NHRA. We got Jelly Roll. We got Sprint Car. We got the NFL season coming up.
Yeah, buddy. Well, that concert's going to be September 16th. That'll be Saturday at 7 o'clock. At Talking Stick Resort Amphitheater. I was formerly the Auction Pavilion. So you got a little while, maybe, 6-7 weeks to kind of fine-tune that bad boy before the folks in Phoenix head out there, Eric Church with Jelly Roll, and getting their groove on out there. Jim Bob?
Yeah. I know we'll have to do some VIP stuff, guys, as we get a little closer, is that we'll have a great VIP set up to where you'll be able to meet, you'll be able to meet Jelly and Eric and shake hands and get pictures and watch it from a great venue. And if we've got any great, bartenders out there or beer bar owners that want to be a part of this, well, let's get them in the contest too, and we'll get everybody out there. We rock and roll with Jelly.
Sounds like a great time to me, pal. That's great. All right, so you're rolling. So we're going to see how you do this coming week. We have 3 games, baseball games selected. You're going to be playing against Eddie from Phoenix. So our first game, Jim Bob, the Angels at the Braves, and the over-under for runs is 9. Where are you?
You know what? I'm going to go the over.
Wow.
Going to go the over? All right, let's go back to the studio. What is Richie, what does he got? What's Eddie got there for that game? I'm assuming he's got the over as well, too.
Oh, there, he just said it in my ear. He's playing the over.
All right, let's look at the Guardians at the Astros. The over-under is 8.5 there, Jim Bob. What do you got? That's going to be a good game.
Over. It's over.
It's over.
Eddie has got the under.
Yes.
He's going with the under. But Verlander's headed back to the Astros, as a matter of fact, for all those Texas folks out there. So Verlander headed back. And then last but not least, we got the D-backs at the Giants tonight. The over-under is at 7. Zach Gallen taking the bump for the Diamondbacks, who are just 3.5 games back. They got Patrick Sewald, a pretty good closer on this team to help enhance that team. So what do you got with that one?
You know what? It's easy. O-V-E-R.
All right, let's see. Eddie's got he has the over.
He got the over as well too.
Yes, he does.
So one game separates me and Eddie. And does Eddie realize that I'm 100 wins against 4 losses?
Wow, you got 4 losses? What the heck? I mean, we're surprised.
I have 4 losses. I think I lost to Timmy and I lost to Buck.
Okay.
Well, I got to tell you what, with all the things coming, how excited or not excited are you with the Hall of Fame game coming up here on Thursday? You got the Jets and the Browns. Do you start to get that cold sweat going, Jim Bob, being that former outstanding linebacker / safety you were at Kansas State in Green Bay?
You know what? I talked to the director of communications of the Hall of Fame, and he mentioned something to me, Manuch. I said, I go, man, I tell you what, I mean, I talked to all these Hall of Famers, and he goes, Jim Bob, I want to let you know something. You, along with the other 30,000 guys that have played in NFL games, you're in the Hall of Fame. So, Manuch, you now start addressing me, Jim Bob Forrest, in the Hall of Fame.
I always say in the room, in the deal, right, Jim Bob? I mean, that's
right, buddy. In the room, in the deal, man.
Our names, I think that what you're saying is I think that the names of every NFL player that ever played the game is listed. So we can technically say Jim Bob,
in there.
that we're in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, in the Hall of Fame, buddy. So that's exactly right. So anybody who was in an NFL game, suited up for the roster for an NFL game, you're in the Hall of Fame. They keep track of all of that.
That's incredible.
And so you're in there someplace. And so that from now on, let's make sure that we get ourselves addressed as, you don't have to call me Dr. Morris, but hey, HOF, baby.
So now when you come on, not only are you the founder and owner of El Bandito Yankee Tequila, you are also a Hall of Famer as well.
Well, yeah, let's not disrespect anybody like Urlacher.
No.
I don't want Urlacher to see me on the golf course and beat me up. Okay, so hey. Did I tell you guys? Did I tell you about the one time I was talking to Urlacher and I was interviewing him and he was talking about bike riding and he says, "Yeah, man, I ride my bike 50 miles a day," and I go, "Man, is any of this stuff like e-bike?" And he just blew a gasket, and then he dialed it back once he realized he insulted every 2-year-old that has an e-bike.
Yeah. Oh my God! You insulted the athleticism in one Brian Urlacher. That's for sure, though, Jim Bob.
Yeah, I know. But hey, how about this? He said he's going to be in the Hall of Fame in pickleball soon. So let's see what happens.
Wow, is that going to be your next venture? Are you into the pickleball scene?
I'm getting my knee replaced here next week.
Okay.
And I think it's the only sport left that I may be able to do.
well, we know you can coach those 3rd graders in pickleball, too, if all else fails. That for sure, Jim Bob.
I know. You guys, hey, man, you guys have a great week. I tell you what, I'm probably going to win again.
Yeah.
We got to just start. Maybe what we'll do is that if anybody even has the courage to challenge me, let's just give them a gift certificate.
You are just getting so cocky in your old age.
We're going to hang up on you now. We're hanging up.
I love you guys. I will see you soon.
Thank you, Jim Bob. That's great. See ya. He's the best.
He's got 4 losses. He got 100 wins, 4 losses.
Yeah.
You look at that and you think of all the things that they've got going on. I mean, can you imagine trying to tweak a concert when you've got Jelly Roll and Eric Church?
Yeah.
And we still got to work the bugs out. What bugs?
Oh, yeah, really.
You show up,
you got 2 stars right there. Yeah.
So heads up, folks. We'll be giving those. We're gonna have some stuff that we'll be giving away coming up here September 16th for that concert. That'll be on September 16th.
I'm waiting for him to. Yeah, I'm waiting for him to send the jet for us so he can take us to one of the IndyCar races. That sounds like a plan to me.
Well, the Infinity IndyCar races.
There you go.
The lower ones. And then also the Xfinity with the NASCAR side of that as well,
sure.
Too. So, hey, they've got, I tell you what, El Bandito Yankee Tequila, foray, and we're right there on the precipice.
Yes, we are.
He said backstage passes? Is that what he,
that's what he said? Backstage passes.
Whew,
you dialed in.
I'm dialed. I will be there. Manuch is probably going to wear his Fox Sports 910 polo to the concert.
I got my boots. I have to break the boots out. A little boot scooting, going on out there.
Look at you.
That's going to be so weird to see everyone outside of, because I only see you guys at work. See you like in that.
a country concert.
Oh,
see
it's
him in
dangerous.
boots?
It'll be
dangerous.
interesting.
All right, quick timeout, everybody. When we come back, we're going to dive into our top stories. It is next. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, Fox Sports 910.
This is what's trending on Fox Sports 910 Phoenix.
Andrew Chafin's second stint with the Diamondbacks is over. Traded to the Brewers today for relief pitcher Peter Strzelecki. Zach Gallen is on the hill as they go for a second straight win against the Giants. The Cardinals took the practice field in pads for the first time at training camp. Arizona's Board of Regents are holding a special meeting today. Reports say the Pac-12's media deal is expected to be a topic of conversation. And the Mercury's brief two-game road trip continues in Indiana as they battle the fever. Brittany Griner is not with the team on the trip, opting to focus on her mental health. I'm Frank Garrity on Fox Sports 910, available everywhere on the free iHeartRadio app.
Whether it's beer and wings with the guys or a steak or ribs with that special someone, Tavern Grill Scottsdale is to be. Tavern Grill is now the home of Huss Brewing Company's Roc and Manuch Lager. Tavern Grill Scottsdale at 8880 East Via Linda.
It's the wind down in sparkling water. It's the zone out at the spa. The stunning sunsets at dinner. It's the escape you crave, and it's closer than you think. Talking Stick Resort's Summer Playcation Package. Starting at $139 a night with no resort fee for Arizona residents. Exclusive spa specials and $25 in free slot play. Plus, enjoy great deals inside the Talking Stick Entertainment District, including Top Golf, Talking Stick Golf Club, Octane Raceway, and more. Summer Playcation, May 8th to September 15th at Talking Stick Resort. Turn it on.
Any car dealer in Arizona can compete on price. That's what dealers do. But not many dealers can compete on customer satisfaction. Like Wright Toyota. Make the right choice. Wright Toyota in Scottsdale. Just off the 101 on Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard. And online at wrighttoyota.com.
Golfers, swing into Vans Golf Shops. We've been serving golfers since 1963. Let us help you find the hottest gear from bags, balls, shoes, and apparel. All in stock at the best prices. Come in and test drive the latest arrivals from Titleist, TaylorMade, Callaway, Ping, and more. While you're there, get custom fit by one of our golf experts. Vans Golf Shops, home of the 90-day satisfaction guarantee. Shop us in store or online at vansgolfshops.com.
A small commitment at least one day a week helps reduce ground level ozone pollution and helps us all breathe easier. Reduce traffic congestion and ozone-causing emissions by teleworking. Visit maricopa.gov/AQ to learn how you can help.
In today's Marketers Report, Kate Cronin, Chief Brand Officer of Moderna, weighs in on the speed of audio production.
In this day and age, and particularly at Moderna,
Man, Hazen's cutting it close, huh?
on a regular basis, being able to feed that information to the audio format makes being nimble and pivoting easy, and that's what I really like about it.
That was a weird one.
Audio company. iHeartMedia gives marketers access to the audiences, influencers, insights, and data you need to grow. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartResults.com.
Fully electric EQS sedan from Mercedes-Benz is innovation on a magnificent scale. Available with the epic 56-inch touch-sensitive hyperscreen. The vehicle is all electric. The feeling is all Mercedes. Learn more at mdusa.com/EQS.
Time for the top local and national stories of the hour. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona. Bet big on your favorite teams and players in an environment that's as exciting as the game you're watching. There's no better place in the Valley to get in on the action. The Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar. Now, guys, what's your top story this hour?
give yourself a better shot if you have a very successful season of going to the expanded 12-team playoff system. Why would you not go for the Big 12? Why would you go for you got that curve? And here's your curve compared to this curve. Big 12 versus the Pac-12. I cannot get out of that bandwagon to go to Big 12 fast enough if I'm U of A and ASU. So right now, our intents and purposes, there's a couple of things coming out. Being reported by Shane Moore, we tried to wrap up the last update. It looks like for ASU and U of A and
Utah will be allegedly, possibly heading to the Big 12. If you're the Board of Regents, rubber stamp that. Get them the hell out of the Pac-12. Get them there to the Big 12 by next year. You're guaranteed $31 million.
There you go.
You got 18, and then a chance of making so much more with subscribers. Who wants to go out there and market and brand and be on streaming on top of it, where you know you're going to be over the air, on cable? You got 3 or 4 different platforms besides streaming.
Yes, that's right.
On top of that, well, quite frankly, Jimmy, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah, I'm with you, Manuch. I'm with you. You're going to have to beg people to sign up for Apple TV to watch your game so that you can try to hit some of the incentives that are built in. All right, quickly, before we get to the Diamondbacks and some deals that have gone down, Manuch, this is something that was in the making for the Pac-12 ever since the Larry Scott days. Kleekhoff, who just came in as the new commissioner, were his hands pretty much tied behind his back?
Larry Scott, really, he screwed the pooch.
Okay.
Quite frankly, he
Fair
didn't.
enough.
He still hadn't worked out a deal in how many years with DirecTV?
Right.
Why he wasn't more aggressive to go get a deal done before he left? I think, quite frankly, this is just my opinion, folks, that as he was looking to leave, he wasn't going to be aggressive in pursuing some of the other platforms out there. Now, in fairness to Larry Scott, you can't get blood out of a turnip.
Okay.
And so maybe the platforms out there, the existing ESPNs, FS1s, et cetera, whose contract is being played out after this year, they didn't want to come back. They felt, look, the Pac-12, it's really the Pac-3 or Pac-4.
Maybe, yeah.
Basically, it's USC, UCLA,
Oregon, Washington,
Utah.
Okay.
And that's pretty
five.
much, that's pretty much those 5. And maybe they felt at that time, okay, you got 7 more to plug in there that are not doing it. Now, basketball, they are. Mm-hmm. But football sells. Football's where the money comes from.
That's correct.
So, quite frankly, I think it's a double-edged sword by Scott not getting deals done. And there might have been opportunities where ESPN and the other carriers said, look, we're not getting the return that we want out of the Pac-12, and put their money and their efforts and energies into the Big 12, SEC, ACC,
Big Ten,
Big Ten, all those for the Pac-12. It's just like at least they know that they've got so many greater marketplaces there. Now the SoCal market's huge. Don't get me wrong,
right?
But I think that the Big 12 can satisfy that itch by getting the U of A's, ASU's, Utah, and having Colorado. That's fine for now. But, it's interesting but there's incentives tied to it. You can make $25 million.
Yeah.
That sounds like a commission-only kind of thing.
It is. It's like, hey, we got a job for you, but it's all commission. Look, I'm not a car dealer. I'm a car salesman. And if those guys work on commission by the amount of vehicles that they sell, good for them. But this is totally different. We're talking about millions and millions of dollars here, Manuch. And right now, the Pac-12 isn't getting hardly any of it.
But they're not whatsoever. And that's one thing I think a lot of folks will look at and go, okay, if you're an ASU fan, U of A fan, hopefully that comes down and that they'll be headed to the Big 12. Otherwise, okay, if you got your Apple streaming and
that's it.
And then from that standpoint, then this is for 2024, folks, just so you know. It's
right.
For next season.
Yeah, not this season.
Not this year.
Okay, fair enough. By the way, that meeting begins at 3:30. The Board of Regents. It will keep you up to date if anything breaks before 4 o'clock, of course, right here. All right, Major League Baseball trading deadline has come and gone. What do you got, kid?
Well, so far, from the Diamondbacks perspective, Mike Hayes really came down the wire. The Brewers acquired left-handed reliever Andrew Chafin in a trade that just said that basically has happened. We don't have all the particular details.
Okay.
So that came down pretty much. Prior to that, it looked like Erod turned down the LA Dodgers and Detroit Tigers had a trade in place for left-handed starter Eduardo Rodriguez.
Okay.
But he invoked his 10-team no-trade clause that included the Dodgers, and the deal is now dead.
Wow.
So, why would you turn that down? I mean, you're going to the Dodgers.
Yeah.
You've got a chance.
Yes, to win the World Series.
And that's been reported by Jeff Passan. That interested. There's really nothing that's there. Earlier, we talked about the Rodriguez situation.
And Verlander going
to Houston.
Yep.
Obviously, the Seawald scenario here happened yesterday, coming to the D-backs. But after that, the latest, since things pretty much wrapped up it was 2 o'clock our time, that's about the latest that's coming down the pike in reference to all the other ones. You talked about Verlander to the Astros.
Right.
And Rodriguez now not going to go that way.
Interesting.
That's pretty much, not anything but the usual suspects after that. But Chafin, left-handed reliever, up and down.
Right.
I think that last game where he walked in, the winning run against the Cardinals might have sealed his fate from that standpoint.
Fair enough. All right, let's get to this story. We haven't referenced it yet today, but it is an important story. Churchill Downs, remember, they were told to stop racing because of so many horses that died. They had a review. The internal safety review fails to pinpoint a specific cause for the horses' deaths, Manuch. This is shocking to me that they can't figure something out.
And with that, they're going to go ahead and end the suspension and continue racing,
right?
Which has been, almost 3 months that they've been down. They're doing this investigation. And it's just so interesting. So many horses died, and you're like, how does that happen? Was it the track? Was it whatever they were giving the horses? They thought at first it was the track.
Right.
With the tracks, was it the dirt? The rain, this, that, the other. But it's interesting that they came up with none whatsoever that they could conclude there was one specific or specific things that concluded with all the horses dying out there. So just very interesting to see, all right, what's coming up next in reference to those things that, Jimmy, when I see that, I hate to say this, folks, first thing comes to my mind is somebody got paid off.
Yep.
I mean, it's horse racing. I'm not going to say it's crooked.
No,
or
it's
fixed.
shady.
It's shady at best. So nothing to see here. What do you mean there's nothing to see here?
Yeah,
all these horses have died, and they couldn't pinpoint a specific cause. Okay, well, what were some of the causes? Did you pinpoint those? What were some of the causes why you had broken leg after broken leg? Or, hey, a horse dying here, or after workout, just succumbing or dying.
Were they drug-induced?
Whatever.
Yeah.
It just seems very fishy to me, Jimmy, that they can't even pinpoint any specific causes one way or the other. Well, at least tell us how those 15 to 20 horses died. What did you find out with autopsies and those kind of things? It's just very suspect to me.
At the University of Northwestern, they have big trouble, and they have hired the former U.S. Attorney General Loretta Lynch to lead their investigation. Manuch, more people apparently now are coming forward and talking about the hazing incident.
Yeah, Northwestern are facing lawsuits from several former football players we know, as well as a former volleyball player who alleged hazing and abuse under Coach Shane Davis there at Northwestern. They also announced him in the school. July 13th, as you know, that baseball coach Jim Foster had been relieved of his duties after an investigation into allegations of bullying and mistreatment. And also attorneys representing former Northwestern athletes who have filed lawsuits say more are coming.
Wow.
Impacting other sports, including, Jimmy, softball and soccer.
Wow.
So what's with the Big Ten and their lawsuits of hazing and sexual abuse, and looking back at Michigan and Michigan State, not Northwestern. So, she's pretty much a bulldog that's going to come in and just say, we got this, and this. As we mentioned yesterday, Skip Holtz has agreed in principle to join Northwestern staff as a special assistant to interim coach David Braun for this season. That will not affect his duties as the head coach of the USFL's Birmingham Stallions. So what that means is he's going to kind of oversee, help David Braun.
Right.
I believe Skip was at the last college was at what, South Carolina?
Yeah, he's coaching the Birmingham Stallions.
That's what I just said.
In the USFL.
That's what I just mentioned. Yep. Yes, exactly. And that's one of the things that he had mentioned. He's going to come in there, oversee, help out David Braun as much as he possibly can, and try to get these players, get their minds off of what's going on, and try to get them to move forward. So it's a big mountain for Northwestern's football team to climb, as well as Northwestern's athletic department.
I'm with you.
This is just an
they're
absolute
under
mess.
the microscope now. They really are. They're going to have to take some drastic measures to clean that up. No question. Top headlines, always powered by the CAZ Sports Book, located at the CAZ Sports Bar at Casino, Arizona. You can always go there, watch all of the games, whether if it's MLB or soccer or UFC fights or boxing. And then football getting started, they will have all of the games on their big screens for you. And they always have great food and drink specials at the CAZ Sports Bar, including Roc and Manuch Lager. It's brewed by Huss Brewing. I've tried it. It's good. I'm not a big beer connoisseur, but I did like it. I really did. All right, that's all you need to do. You can just go to Casino, Arizona. And you want more information? Just go to casinoarizona.com. Quick timeout. When we come back, our random facts of the day. They are presented by your Valley Chevy dealers. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, Fox Sports 910.
Clear. This is The Odd Couple with Chris Broussard and Rob Parker.
This is why the NCAA is still a joke to me. It's all fraudulent and phony. If you really want to cut down this stuff, Chris, and is serious enough to suspend the coach for 4 games, make it 4 conference games, not your preseason schedule that they count as a regular season.
With Chris Broussard and Rob Parker. Today at 4, tell your smart speaker to play Fox Sports 910.
Tune in Mondays from 1 to 4 as Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B broadcasts live from the CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona. The Sportsbook at the CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona is sports fans' paradise. That's the guys, live every Monday from CAZ Sportsbook in Casino, Arizona.
Hey, sports fans, celebrate every big game with El Bandito Yankee, an ultra-premium tequila made from 100% Blue Weber agave in the highlands of Jalisco. Their certified additive-free Blanco and Reposado features a unique oxygenation process for a rich smoothness without that tequila burn. It's why they won platinum and gold medals and are now listed as one of the world's top tequilas by Rolling Stone. Head over to your local store, favorite bar, or restaurant in all 7 Barrio Queen locations. Go to elbanditoyankee.com and break out the Bandito with the official tequila of game day.
See your Valley Chevy dealers today during the Chevy Summer Drive going on now. New inventory is arriving daily. Don't miss your chance for some great deals this summer. See your Valley Chevy dealers for the best deals and the best selection during the Chevy Summer Drive today.
When we make your meal, this is where we start. Traditional, old-world recipes passed down through generations. But then, we add some modern flair and spice up your Italian dining with contemporary flavor combinations. The result, the perfect fusion of new and old world traditions, and a meal you'll never forget.
Inspired by the comfort and cuisine of a Brooklyn-style pizza parlor, Upper Crust Pizza and Patio Wine Bar is located at the southeast corner of Loop 101 and Cave Creek Road in Phoenix.
With the Autio app riding shotgun, every road trip is an adventure.
Autio is my traveling companion. It's educational, entertaining, funny. It makes the drive come to life.
The Autio app automatically plays you stories about the natural wonders, local legends, and fascinating histories outside your car window, with over 10,000 unique stories from coast to coast.
I've learned more about my hometown from the Autio app than I did growing up here.
Autio, the perfect companion for your next road trip. Learn more at autio.com.
There's a right way and a wrong way to fight off mosquitoes. Karate chopping the air, in a public place, in front of your kids, and their friends, Mom, is the wrong way. Using STEM mosquito repellent is the right way. STEM effectively repels mosquitoes by harnessing active ingredients found in plants, like lemongrass and peppermint, making it safe.
Diamondbacks just acquired Tommy Pham
STEM,
From the Mets.
rooted in nature, optimized by science, and embarrassment-free.
Break out the
Tommy
Bandito and
Pham,
experience the
outfielder.
El Bandito Yankee Tequila. It's another El Bandito Yankee Tequila Tuesday. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B are live from one of the 7 Valley Barrio Queen locations. Now back to the guys live from Barrio Queen on Fox Sports 910 and the iHeartRadio app.
And now it's time for
Random facts.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I love that open for the random facts of the day. It's always brought to you by your Valley Chevy dealers. Manuch, what do you got?
Well, something you didn't know yesterday, you know now.
Okay.
For your favorite, what do you call it, beverage stand or pop
Refreshment stand.
The average distance between the stars in the sky is 20 million miles.
What?
Yeah, it's that expansive up there, Jimmy. I mean,
Wow.
it's huge.
I don't think I could walk it.
The median age of U.S. population is 38.1 years.
Uh-oh.
The median is where half the population is above that age and half the population is below it. Did you take statistics or mean, median, mode, or that kind of stuff in college?
I did, as a matter of fact, yes.
One of the hardest classes I've ever taken.
I'll tell you, kinesiology was the hardest for me.
Kinesiology, what was the other one? Anatomy and physiology.
Oh, I didn't take that.
Yeah, that was.
I had enough of kinesiology.
We worked on the cadavers.
Oh,
we had
man.
3 of them in the room.
Oh, man.
Yeah, they were wrapped up in the sheets.
Oh, God.
Formaldehyde. You walked in there.
Oh.
Woo, clear your sinuses with that. A lot of folks don't realize this, but you're eating just under a ton of food a year.
Really?
Economists at the U.S. Department of Agriculture say the typical American eats just under 2,000 pounds of food a year.
Wow.
The figure includes the weight of all food consumed by the average American, including dairy, meat, grain, fruits, vegetables, and junk food.
So even if you eat good food like salads and veggies, you're still going to have 2,000 pounds.
Definitely add up. So those are our random facts today. It's a Chevy Summer Drive. So your Valley Chevy dealers today during the Chevy Summer Drive. Summer is here, and so are the Chevy offers. See your Valley Chevy dealers today during the Chevy Summer Drive and find your new car, truck, crossover, or SUV, or certified pre-owned vehicle today. Summer is hot, and so are the deals. Go now to your Valley Chevy dealers. See your Valley Chevy dealers today.
Well, the Pac-12 media rights is the top story here at the moment as things are beginning to leak out from that meeting that George Kliavkoff, the Pac-12 commissioner, held today with the presidents. It is essentially a streaming service such as Apple and the likes of ESPN or Fox Sports not in the equation. And the total package is about $19.7 million, so $20 million, as opposed to what the Big 12 is offering and why Colorado jumped over $31 million just your first year, and it includes your games being televised on major networks, ESPN, Fox Sports, and Fox regular sports package on TV.
That's embarrassing, Jimmy. That is absolutely embarrassing that you've got to incorporate more money by how many subscriptions you sell. It's 18.5, give or take, and how much you're going to make, where you can go to the Big 12 and get 31.5 and at that guaranteed versus that, knowing you have to go after more subscriptions. And it's just interesting as this thing hit, I've got my K-State Wildcat buddies. We've got about 20 of them.
Okay.
And they get to chatting and talking about K-State, this, that, and the other. And
are they all over you right now?
Well, no, they're just like, they have that story you had, as you just mentioned that. And the comment from all of them, oh boy, they are in trouble being the Pac-12.
Yeah.
So you mentioned a little bit earlier with this, the Arizona Board of Regents looking to meet here at 3:30 in about 35 minutes or so to see what comes out of it. Now that they've got the deal, now that they got the comp compared to what the Big 12 comp is. And a lot of folks out there saying, we talked about Shane Dale had reported that it looks as though ASU, U of A, and Utah will also reportedly, I got to put it there, Jimmy, be headed to the Big 12, now knowing that this package is, that they may also be. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of news comes out, if not today, this week, or before the end of the week. But if I'm the Arizona Board of Regents and I see that, hey, look, I've got 31 million plus compared to 18 plus with a question mark.
Right.
Why do you not say we're moving on? Pac-12, nice knowing you. We're getting out of here. We're going to go make the money because we're going to need that money to keep up with the Joneses. You know, if U of A bolts and ASU doesn't, you got to go compare to them getting nicer facilities, better for their athletic departments here, their non-rev sports, whatever you want to call it. But I would say if I'm Michael Crow and I'm Ray Anderson over at ASU, Michael Crow, the president, Ray Anderson, the athletic director, I'm on that horn, and I'd be going, hey, Board of Regents, if you need us to show up and help you close this deal, we're all in favor. And I'm sure those text messages have happened. If ASU and U of A decide to stay in the Pac-12, I'd say you need to go see a psychiatrist, a psychologist, or group therapy. One or the other, because the money is going to drive all this and moving that forward.
Look, money drives everything now, and I talk to fans all the time, and they say, well, what about rivalries and how it's so convenient to go to Los Angeles and watch Arizona or ASU play USC or UCLA. All of that is out the window. Nobody cares about that anymore. It's all about the dinero.
It really is, and it's just to see that, and it could be a combination. They're just not in the platforms that are out there, the ESPNs, FS1s, Fox Sports. I can go on and on and on.
Right.
Just don't. There's no juice for the Pac-12. So, hey, folks, stay tuned. And if there's anything that's going to be breaking this afternoon, stay tuned for right here on Fox Sports 910. And I'm sure if there's any updates, Jody Eiler will have that all going for you bright and early in the morning at 6 o'clock.
You got that right. Look, this is a time in our business where we just continually shake our heads because what used to be standard is so far passé now. It's like unbelievable. Even Jax sitting here is shaking his head because he's used to watching games on regular television, and now I know streaming is the so-called new in thing, but as a former player, how would you like that?
Well, yeah, not even just a former player. You just hate it as a Pac-12 fan.
Sure.
You grew up around this rivalry, seeing Washington, Oregon, even ASU, U of A at their prime, and to see this conference just go down because one person made a mistake. It's unfortunate.
It's awful. All right, hour number 3 on the way, everybody. Former Arizona Cardinals defensive end Kyle Vanden Bosch will join us. Arizona Republic Bon McManaman will be our guest as well. Cardinals putting the pads on. We're back in a little bit.
Have you been arrested for something you didn't do? When your liberty is on the line, you need an aggressive, experienced attorney to defend your rights. Lerner Law Group is the firm you can trust with your freedom. Our criminal defense attorneys have represented thousands of clients across the state. And with our affordable payment plans, you can get the defense you need immediately. If you've been wrongly charged with a crime, time is not on your side. Call Lerner & Rowe today for a free consultation. We're available to help you 24/7.
Lerner & Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
It's the Chevy Summer Drive. See your Valley Chevy dealers today during the Chevy Summer Drive. Summer's here and so are the Chevy offers. See your Valley Chevy dealers today during the Chevy Summer Drive and find your new car, truck, crossover, or SUV or certified pre-owned vehicle today. Summer is hot and so are the deals going on now at your Valley Chevy dealers. Don't miss the savings happening now during the Chevy Summer Drive. See your Valley Chevy dealers for the best deals and the selection today.
The free iHeartRadio app covers the sports teams you love like no one else. Catch the latest breaking news, plus the upcoming NFL season's just around the corner. And iHeartRadio is your official podcast partner of the NFL. Make the iHeart app your go-to to stay up to date on all things in the sports world. Download the free iHeartRadio app today.
In this week's Marketers Report, Chris Brandt, Chief Marketing Officer at Chipotle Mexican Grill, weighs in on the power of audio.
We've used audio to reinforce what we're showing on TV, what we're showing in other digital channels. When your priority is driving reach, boy, everybody seems to listen to the radio.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia gives marketers access to the audiences, conversations, trusted influencers, insights, and data you need to grow. If you're a marketer, go to iHeartResults.com.
Contact Tax Relief Helpers for details and restrictions. Attention anyone that owes money to the IRS. The IRS has restarted aggressive enforcement actions against taxpayers who owe back taxes that were temporarily suspended for COVID. If you owe $10,000 or more, you must hear this because now is the time to clear your IRS tax debt. A special toll-free number has been established so you can stop penalty fees, avoid liens, levies, and other hostile measures by the IRS. Call Tax Relief Helpers right now at 800-981-9615. Tax Relief Helpers will provide you with the maximum protection afforded by law.
I got behind on my taxes and owed $48,000. I didn't know what to do. I called and they got my bill lowered to just $3,500.
I owed $87,000 in taxes and it was scary. I got the amount I owed down to just $3,500. I saved $83,500.
If you owe money to the IRS, don't wait another day. Call 800-981-9615 right now before the IRS enforces liens, levies, or other aggressive measures. The call and consult are absolutely free. Call now. Call 800-981-9615. 800-981-9615. 800-981-9615.
Portions of the following program were pre-recorded.
The Herd with Colin Cowherd. Tomorrow from 10 to 1. This is KGME Phoenix, KESC HD2 Phoenix. Listen on the free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts.
Major League Baseball trade deadline has just passed, and the Diamondbacks have acquired Tommy Pham in a deal with the Mets. Andrew Chafin's second stint with the D-backs is over, traded to the Brewers for relief pitcher Peter Strzelecki. Zach Allen is on the hill as they go for a second straight win against the Giants. Arizona's Board of Regents holding a special meeting today. Reports say the Pac-12's media deal is expected to be a topic of conversation. The Mercury's brief two-game road trip continues in Indiana against the Fever, and the Cardinals took the practice field in pads for the first time in training camp. I'm Frank Garrity on Fox Sports 910, available everywhere on the free iHeartRadio app.
This is the Parker & Sons Weather Center. For all your AC, plumbing, and electric needs, call Parker.
For tonight, look for partly cloudy skies, temperatures dipping down into those upper 80s. And then for your Wednesday, look for temperatures topping out close to 108 degrees with mostly sunny skies. For the Fox 10 weather experts, I'm Ty Brennan.
Report is sponsored by Dell Technologies.
Now your ideas don't have to wait. Dell Technologies and Intel are pushing what technology can do. So great ideas can happen right now. Find out how to bring your ideas to life at Dell.com. Welcome to Now.
Time for the top local and national stories of the hour. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona. Bet big on your favorite teams and players in an environment that's as exciting as the game you're watching. There's no better place in the Valley to get in on the action. The Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar.
You're live.
Guys, what's your top story this hour?
Well, it's a little bit crazy right now in Major League Baseball because deals, the trading deadline had passed, but it takes time for the deals to be processed. And the D-backs are in the middle of a deal right now, and they have made that change. And hello, Tommy Pham.
Yeah, Tommy Pham, Mets outfielder looking to come to the D-backs. You're looking for Rodriguez, the shortstop. Looks like that has happened. By the way, I misspoke. The trade deadline was at 6 p.m. Eastern, not 5 p.m.
Oh, okay.
So they had that extra hour to get that going. So Tommy Pham, outfielder, a little more pop in that bat for this Diamondback team. That's some of the things. So you look at Sewald coming, Tommy Pham coming. As far as right now, I don't see any others for the Diamondbacks that he's going to be coming. Looks like for Rodriguez, the shortstop for the Diamondbacks, he'll be moving on. Erod turned down the chance to go to the LA Dodgers.
Right.
So he's going to stay with Detroit. He had he invoked his 10-team no trade clause, which
and
is
the
real
Dodgers
interesting.
were one of them.
Yeah, Dodgers are one of them.
Wow.
Looks like Andrew Chafin from the D-backs, a lefty. He is going to be moving on to the Brewers. That for sure. You look at the Phillies. Looks like Michael Lorenzen. That the Phillies are in agreement to trade and acquire right-handed starter Michael Lorenzen from the Tigers.
Okay.
And looks like there's a few others that are kind of coming down, yet to be influenced by that. So here's this last one. Looks like the Twins with Sonny Gray is going to be moving on. The Twins seek offensive return. They're currently 19 with Carlos Correa and Byron Buxton in a particular are struggling. That looks like that move is going to happen.
Wow.
Looks like there's a couple others that are starting to come down the pike as well, too. So it was 6 p.m. Eastern, not 5 p.m., so I'm sorry I misspoke. I thought it was 5 p.m. as a slew of trades are finally starting to come down the pike, and as they start to come down, we'll get you more info as they come down.
That brings us to our State 48 Roofing Issue Call question of the day. And for a free quote, repair, or installation, just head to state48roofing.com. You can always follow them on social media by searching hashtag sexy roof status. And here is the question. Have the D-backs, after what Manuch just described and the acquisition of Tommy Pham, have the D-backs done enough by acquiring a true closer in Patrick Sewald? Two options. A, yes, he will win close games. And B, no, they need middle relief help as well.
Well, Jimmy, let me take a look at it. You still go to @Roc and Manuch on Twitter.
Yep.
And still vote. Last time I looked, it was pretty much 50-50. And as I scroll to pick it up from there, it looks as though it's still 50-50.
Okay.
Yeah, it's still 50-50. I think they got Tommy Pham, was in reference to a little bit of a little outfield help.
Yep.
From that standpoint.
Has some power.
Yeah, you lost your buddy Calzone's moving on.
You're never going to let me live that down, are you?
So he's going to be there. So if there's any other moves by the Diamondbacks that are coming down the pike, I'm sure we'll get those before we get out of here at 4 o'clock.
All right. The same two teams, by the way, play tonight in San Francisco. It is the Giants and the D-backs. A nice win in extra innings last night, 4-3 for Arizona over San Francisco. And once again, the same two teams play this evening. And with the Dodgers not playing last night, with that victory, they pick up a half game.
Yeah, and I think that the one thing that Torey Lovullo talked about last night is getting the clutch hitting.
Yes.
We talked about the runners at scoring position for Ketel Marte to get that ground rule double to bring in Lourdes Gurriel became the game-winning run to win that game. So, again, that was a good win. They see their front office making moves. We talked about Sewald coming to this team, who, by the way, got 2 saves over the Diamondbacks. So, Zach Gallen tonight taking on Cobb. Zach Gallen at 3.36 ERA, having a good year. But we want to see the Zach Gallen we saw the first half of the season.
The dominating Zach Gallen.
That guy. And I think that, all of a sudden you're 3.5 back. You're in the thick of it. You see a couple moves. That's got to inspire that team a little bit that, hey, Mike Hayes and the GM's doing what he has to do to help us out. We got that solid closer. We got another bat. And yet to be seen if there's any other deals that are coming down the pike that have not been reported.
The Cardinals are hitting today, or at least they put the pads on. Coming up roughly in about 8 or 9 minutes, Kyle Vandenbosch will be our guest. And then immediately followed by Bob McManaman at practice. So we will find out a lot about what's going on at Cardinal camp in roughly about 10 minutes or so from right now.
Yeah, you don the pads on. I think that's a, okay, are you going to, do you have them on just to get used to them that you're going through a practice without hitting?
Wait a minute.
Are you doing thud? Now, I know that they're not going to be actually hitting because that's against the law and the National Football League in fall camp.
Old school.
God forbid you hit
and
you make contact with the other guy. I mean, that's just kind of the way it is with the new CBA that they've protected their guys. But so what this means now, Jimmy, and we'll catch, as you said, Kyle Vandenbosch.
Yeah.
We'll also catch up with Bob McManaman at 3:30. Now that they had the pads on,
right?
See, so it's Tuesday. So they won't practice until like Saturday now, right? Is that right? About 3 days off because they had pads on today? Camp cupcakes are killing me here.
Oh, man. You are unbelievable. You're not cutting them any slack.
Hell no,
whatsoever.
man. Now, have you ever looked at the National Football League lately? And you're already seeing some of the injuries with the soft tissue injuries here.
Yeah.
Guys that pulled hammy. 2 receivers out in Denver. You got to feel bad for Sean Payton.
Yep.
Losing 2 receivers. One an Achilles injury, another a knee injury.
Right.
So they'll be on the waiver wire or looking to maybe even make some kind of trades from that standpoint. So it's that time, rarely 1 week in, and you're already seeing some major injuries. And you need to see guys like B.J. Ojolari get on the practice field for this Cardinals team.
Hasn't been there yet.
Myjai Sanders get on the practice field. So if those guys are slated to play a lot of football, get your butts on the practice field. Jimmy, you can't make the club in the tub. I'm telling you right now.
USA women's soccer team played last night, and it was a dreadful game. They ended up tying 0-0. Yes.
How bad is that?
On the pitch, and nobody could score. Now, when they were playing, they had a couple of good chances. Portugal had the best chance to score a goal, and it hit the post. And otherwise, Portugal would have won that game, and the United States would have been coming home.
It's fun because my daughter's up last night. It's about 1 o'clock, 12:31. We're going back and forth, and she's telling me what she sees and what she doesn't see. And she just said flat out, he's not subbing properly, the manager for this USA soccer team. He said these gals are gassed. And she really questioned a lot of his strategies or lack thereof.
Right.
Her being a former soccer player at Hastings College, and she knows the game very well. She coaches the game. She coached the boys JV team at the high school that she teaches at.
Okay.
So she knows the game very, very well. But she said she scratched her head many times with the lack of moves or lack of strategies. And she goes, Dad, quite frankly, Portugal outplayed this USA team. The other thing she said, for all you know soccer, is that the blend of the old and the new is not working.
Not working.
That the chemistry's not there. The blend's not there. She's saying that some of the moves, if they kick the ball here, you're supposed to go there or whatever that strategy is.
Yeah.
They're not seeing it. So they got Sweden now in the next round, Jimmy.
Sweden's good.
They're really good. And she said, she goes, Dad, don't be surprised if they get knocked out early on because of the lack of the chemistry that they had before when you had the veterans playing each other. Playing with each other, I should say.
We are roughly about 20 minutes away from the Arizona Board of Regents sitting down to have a special session as the Pac-12 TV rights deal was presented today by the Commissioner, George Kliakoff, and it is total streaming and a payout of roughly $19.7 million to each school in the Pac-12, and there is no over-the-air TV involved whatsoever.
Okay. 2 minutes. So let's role play here a little bit, Jimmy.
Okay.
So this
Can I be the good-looking guy?
Well, yeah. You know what?
Okay.
So the Board of Regents is going to sit down at 3:30. Sit down. Hi, everybody. Go around the room and introduce yourself. Who are you? Blah, 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 blah. So I'm the leader of the meeting. Jimmy Brinson.
Yes.
You've got the latest update on the media package from the Pac-12. Please give that to all of our Board of Regents, if you would, please, because this should probably take no more than 5 minutes for this meeting, if you would, please. Okay, Jim Brinson, you got the floor. What is the media rights package for the Pac-12?
Oh, you're going to love it because everybody knows that streaming is now the greatest thing since sliced bread on the planet. So, with that thought in mind, all of our football games are going to be streamed. We're not putting them on regular TV because, well, people just aren't watching regular TV that much anymore. So we're going to have them watch on their phone, on their tablets, and go to Apple. Oh, by the way, call all of your friends and have them subscribe to Apple, because if we get enough hits by Apple, they might increase it another $1 million per team.
So, Jimmy, what is the payout, what's the initial payout for the Pac-12 school? So we have a number here. We got Arizona, ASU, NAU's out of the equation.
Yep.
Give them a love. So what is that number?
That number is officially $31.7 million that the Big 12 will offer up their first year. More money coming in the second year if you are in the Big 12.
Let me say that again, Jimmy.
Yes.
What is the number for the Pac-12?
The Pac-12 number, because I didn't want to say it, it's embarrassing, $19.7 million with incentives. Incentives, Manuch. Call your friends. Call your dog. Call your cat. And have them sign up for Apple.
So for those who have Twitter, I highly recommend going to Twitter because people are absolutely making fun of the Pac-12 about this Apple TV deal. I got to read this. Manuch, you're going to love this. This tweet says, sources say, as proposed in the Pac-12 Apple TV deal, Ted Lasso will be the head coach for one game per year for every team.
Thank you, Mr. Groff. I appreciate that little update from Twitter.
Could you imagine Ted Lasso coaching USC?
Okay,
great.
so thank you, Mr. Groff, for your input. Thank you, Jimmy B. I'm not going to waste any more time here. My constituents here, my partners here for the Board of Regents, we've got an offer on the table in reference to U of A and ASU moving on. I found out that Utah is also involved. We know Colorado's going. 19.5 with subscriptions, and then on top of that, the 31.5. All in favor of moving to the Pac-12, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, all 15 of you have raised your hand.
Yes,
aye.
yeah.
Okay, meeting adjourned. We are now officially moving to the Big 12. That is what we're going to be doing.
All right,
That's how that meeting should go
It
this
should
afternoon.
go that way. I'm with you. Hopefully, we'll get something out of it before we're off the air at 4 o'clock. Cardinals in full swing at camp. I have a conversation. Former Cardinal defensive end Kyle Vanden Bosch. He is next. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Fox Sports 910.
Football is almost here. Hear the sweet sounds of Jacksonville and Dallas preseason football next Saturday at 1:30 on Fox Sports 910. Presented by HornCars.com. That's HORNE Cars.com.
Valley traffic from the Valley Toyota Dealers Traffic Center.
US 60 Superstition Freeway, westbound at Greenfield. We have an accident off right. Multiple vehicles involved there. Also a wreck, Loop 101 southbound near Southern, stop and go traffic from the Rio Salado Parkway. And a crash 83rd Avenue at Lower Buckeye Road. Look out for a wreck 40th Street at Thomas. That's traffic.
This report is sponsored by ExpressPros.com. Looking for your next job? Express can help. Express Employment Professionals has put more than 10 million people to work in the last 40 years in all types of industries. With competitive pay and no fee to help you find a job, what are you waiting for? Visit ExpressPros.com today.
Hey, it's Gross. Join me, Bauer, and Jackson every Saturday from 11 to 1 live from the Sportsbook at the CAZ Sports Bar at Casino, Arizona for Take the Points. Powered by the Sportsbook at CAZ Sports Bar.
Hey, sports fans, celebrate every big game with El Bandito Yankee, an ultra-premium tequila made from 100% Blue Weber agave in the highlands of Jalisco. Their certified additive-free Blanco and Reposado features a unique oxygenation process for a rich smoothness without that tequila burn. It's why they won platinum and gold medals and are now listed as one of the world's top tequilas by Rolling Stone. Head over to your local store, favorite bar, or restaurant in all 7 Barrio Queen locations. Go to elbanditoyankee.com and break out the Bandito with the official tequila of game day.
See your Valley Chevy dealers today during the Chevy Summer Drive going on now. New inventory is arriving daily. Don't miss your chance for some great deals this summer. See your Valley Chevy dealers for the best deals and the best selection during the Chevy Summer Drive today.
What are you doing for dinner tonight? Venezia's Pizzeria has a summer of savings deal you don't want to miss. Get an extra large one-item pizza for $13.99. That's more than a 17% savings. Yes, an extra large one-item pizza for only $13.99. Order online, with the app, or when you visit any one of our 6 Valley locations. Just use the code SOS when you order. Available for dine-in, to-go, and even delivery. Order now. Venezias.com. Limit of 5 per order.
Right now at Wendy's, when you buy either Dave's Single, Spicy Chicken Sandwich, Medium Frosty, or 10-piece nuggets, you can get another for just $1. Your dollar never tasted so good. So it's obvious what everyone will get, right?
Definitely nugs
Spicy
and a
Chicken
Frosty.
Sandwich,
Dave's Single and a Frosty for
Frosty
me.
and a Frosty. Okay, who said Frosty and a Frosty? Pick your obvious choice. Choose wisely. Choose Wendy's, buy one, get one for $1.
Limited time only. Price and participation may vary. U.S. Wendy's, valid for item of equal or lesser value. Cannot be combined in a combo or any other offer.
The Mercury's brief 2-game road trip continues in Indiana against the Fever. The Suns unveiled new purple and white jerseys for the upcoming season, which incorporates an updated white and purple sunburst the team used for most of the 90s. The Diamondbacks have traded pitcher Andrew Chafin to the Brewers. Justin Verlander heads to the Astros in a trade deadline deal with the Mets. The 3-time Cy Young winner reunites with Houston as they attempt to win a 3rd World Series together. I'm Frank Garrity.
This is Eric Dickerson. Here's what's trending on the iHeart Sports Network.
Presented by Staples Stores.
Staples has what you need for travel. Passport photos, luggage, headphones, even personal travel-sized items. Now get $10 off your purchase of 30 or more when you buy a travel service. In-store only offer ends September 16th. Exclusions apply. Staples, your first stop to nonstop travel.
All right, everybody, welcome back. We're broadcasting live today. Barrio Queen in Desert Ridge Marketplace. That's where you can find us today. Come on in and say hello. Jax will take pictures with you and kiss babies. He's good at that.
I'll sign autographs for free.
Oh, man. Nobody cares about us, Manuch.
I got that black pen.
Yeah.
You
always carry a Sharpie.
I've had it for like 30 years. It's still not out of ink. What the hell? I'm ready to go, though,
A
man.
guy who would indeed sign autographs with a Sharpie. He's former Arizona Cardinal, Titans, and Lions defensive end, and you can always find him on Twitter at KVandenBosch93. It is indeed Kyle Vandenbosch who is our guest. Kyle, as always, welcome to the show. How are you, pal?
I'm doing really well. How are you guys?
We're doing great. How excited are you? Because Manuch is like over the moon that they actually have pads on today, and there might be some hitting at Cardinal camp.
Yeah, but did they use them, Kyle? That's the question.
Right? Right, yeah. I'm telling you, I can still remember, I think my favorite day of the year was when we finally got to put pads on off-season teams, and it is so long that it never really feels, particularly for linemen, it never really feels like football until you get the pads on. And, I was excited yesterday that they were going to put pads on because they were allowed to, and was a little disappointed that they didn't. But I think we will know a lot about this team by watching how they practice, how physical they are with pads. It was, one of the first things that Jonathan Gannon talked about was how violent of a sport it was, and how physical this team was going to be. And, all the indications we get coming out of the Cardinals is they're, going to be a run-first team. A lot of their runs are probably going to be downhill between the tackle runs. And so, I'm really curious to see how this offensive line is fitting together, what type of movement they can get up front, for fans that are out there watching the open practice today, it might be a boring practice because this may be an offense that's, a successful play for this offense, might be a 4-yard run between the tackles, but and that's not always what, keeps people glued to the television sets or, gets people to come out to games to watch. But it's a bit of a throwback, but in my opinion, it's a winning brand of football.
Kyle, it's interesting that, you hear run game, we're going to go downhill. And the first thing I think of, I tell myself, that's all well and good. You got to have a pretty good offensive line that can enmesh pretty good, have good chemistry. And then on top of that, if it's going to be physical, do you have the depth with the offensive line in order to do that? So it's kind of a twofold scenario. I love it. I get it. Control the game with your running game, but you have the backups that can spot fill because of how physical it's going to be for 17 games.
No, I think you're right. But I do think, I think they have better depth than they've had in past years. I don't know that the starting five, I think DJ Humphries is, he's obviously been to a Pro Bowl. He's a really good left tackle. And I think Paris Johnson Jr. has looked really good, over there at right tackle. Other than that, I don't know that anybody else on the line would ever be considered elite or even top 10 at their position. But, there's two Manuch, like some of the best offensive lines are full of guys that you never heard of. It's just they're well coached. They work well together. So, the biggest thing, like, look, the wheels fell off last year. There was so many things you could point to as reasons why, but they never had continuity across that offensive line. And a lot of it is just the luck that you're handed throughout the course of the season. And good teams adjust. They find guys and they coach them up and fit them in. But it seemed like every week a different offensive lineman was out of the lineup. So, I think they do have more depth than they had last year because I think they will have quality backups. But I think the biggest thing is once that starting five is locked in, fully determined, that they just get the opportunity to work together for an extended period of time and hopefully stay healthy throughout the course of the season.
All right, Kyle. So I'm watching some of the highlights of, you mentioned Paris Johnson Jr. against Zaven Collins. And is Paris Johnson that good, or is Zaven Collins not used to that position? Because there's a couple, 2 or 3 times, Paris Johnson Jr. threw him around like a rag doll.
Yep.
Got rid of him, pushed him out here and there. Is that a Zaven Collins thing, or is that a Paris Johnson Jr. is just that athletic and that good at that right tackle spot?
Yeah, I don't know if it's an either or. I think it could be both. I think Paris Johnson is as advertised. He's looked the part. I think he's stepped in and played really well throughout training camp up to this point. I am just speaking on him specifically. I am curious. I know how athletic he is. I know how smooth he is and light on his feet. He's quick. It'll be interesting to see today when the pads come on, if they have like a 9-on-7 period or a short yardage period, if he's able to move a defensive lineman off the ball, either by himself or as a part of a double team combination block. That's kind of what I'm curious, because he's tall. He's long, the ability to bend and sink his hips. That still remains to be seen at this level. But yeah, I mean, Zaven Collins, it's going to take time. I know what he's done through the summer has been hyped up a lot, but the pass rushers, some pass rushers are born. You just have the gifts. But I'm not sure he's that type of athlete. I think it's going to take him time to learn what his move is and what type of move he can set up, and really just what he can hang his hat on. Now, it is a different story when pads come on. I mean, when you are pass rushing with helmets, typically you can't bull rush. And I'm not saying Zaven's going to bull rush Paris Johnson Jr., but if you have that in your repertoire, that pretty much sets up anything else you want to do. If they aren't worried about getting run over or you sticking your helmet in their chest and driving them back into the pocket, it's so much easier for those offensive linemen, particularly offensive tackles. So, we'll see how that matchup shakes out. But, I expected slow progress and growing pains with Zaven Collins as he learns a completely new position.
Kyle Vanden Bosch is our guest on the Right Toyota guest line. Let me follow up then, Kyle, with what you're discussing here. If indeed this experiment is not working by preseason game number 2, do they change course and switch him back to his more natural position at linebacker?
I don't know, because I don't know at this point on this roster which guy is going to step up and provide more production. I mean, even if he isn't super productive, with the exception of the success that Dennis Gardeck had in limited reps one season, they don't have that guy on the roster. I mean, it's not like there's, somebody with a proven record in the NFL that is backing up Zaven Collins. So, quite frankly, I expect there to be growing pains all across and throughout this season. And that's not to say that there has been any regression, because I am optimistic about the future of the Arizona Cardinals. I just don't know that we'll see immediate results this year. You take, for example, even Colt McCoy, who's a polished vet, who's been referred to as a player coach and has been in just about every offense. He's had his struggles throughout this training camp. And a lot of it is the new terminology and the completely new system. And if Colt McCoy is struggling right now, you have to assume that every player on the roster is really, struggling with learning this new system. So, I do expect the team as a whole, they will show good things. They will be disciplined. But I think that, for example, Kirk Cousins just talked about he finally feels comfortable in his new offense. He had a lot of success. They won a lot of games last season. They made it to the playoffs, had one of his better statistical years, but he didn't feel like he had a full grasp of the offense last year. So you have to imagine that these quarterbacks and running backs, wide receivers, everybody on that side of the ball, it's going to take them some time to really feel comfortable in this new offense.
Well, and Kyle leads me to, watching, you talk about backups to Zaven Collins. You got Cameron Thomas and Myjai Sanders. I look at Cameron Thomas. He looks a little bigger to me. He looks like maybe a slimmer version of one Kyle Vanden Bosch from back in the day. but I watch him work, and you watch, the highlights and all this stuff. You watch both of them. Thomas went back to San Diego. He got after it. Sanders got after it in the offseason. So when you watch those two, and let's say Zaven Collins starts to struggle, who would be the odds on to pop in there? Or would be a combination of all three of them?
Yeah, it's probably some sort of combination. I mean, the truly good pass rushing teams don't have one or two guys. You rotate, keep your ends fresh, keep your inside guys fresh, so that they're not getting beat because they're tired. I mean, defensive line is tough, and I expect even if a couple of those players separate themselves as starters throughout the course of a game, the reps get split up pretty equally between the guys that are dressed. I mean, you don't have that many defensive line dressed on game day, and so everybody's got to split up the reps. So, I think everybody will get that opportunity. And it is interesting to try to guess whether Cam Thomas or Myjai Sanders, which one will take a big step, or maybe both will take a big step, or maybe neither. But it's concerning to me. We're early in camp. Myjai Sanders he's been missing valuable reps. In order for him to take that step, he needs those reps on the practice field. I hope he doesn't get too far behind. A lot of it's not just knowing the defense; it's getting in playing shape. It's being able to recognize plays because you've repped it over and over and over. So, as a second-year player, I'm hoping that whatever he's dealing with his hand, he's able to come back from pretty quickly.
It's always great, pal, when you come on the show with us. Thank you as always, Kyle. Have a great day.
You guys too. I appreciate it.
Okay, Kyle Vandenbosch, there you go. And you can always follow him on Twitter at KVandenbosch93. And he is presented by All City Towing. And All City Towing is continuing to grow, and they have a huge fleet and a lot of new vehicles, and they need you. If you're looking for a new gig, just go to allcitytowing.com and search careers. That's allcitytowing.com and search careers. They pay very well. They have incredible benefits. They have a 50% match option as well on a 401k program. Fastest way to get a new job at All City Towing, just go online, allcitytowing.com and search careers. All right, everybody, the Cardinals do have some key decisions that they're going to be looking at during the course of training camp. What are those decisions? Well, beat writer Bob McManamon, AZ Central and Arizona Republic, is coming up next. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, Fox Sports 910.
What's trending on Fox Sports 910 Phoenix?
Andrew Chafin's second stint with the D-backs is over today for relief pitcher Peter Strzelecki. They also traded for former Mets outfielder Tommy Pham. Zach Gallen will take them out as they go for a second straight win against the Giants tonight. The Cardinals took the practice field in pads for the first time at training camp. Arizona's Board of Regents are holding a special meeting today. Reports say the Pac-12's media deal is expected to be a topic of conversation. And the Mercury's brief two-game road trip rolls on at Indiana against the Fever. Brittany Griner not with the team, opting to focus on her mental health. I'm Frank Garrity on Fox Sports 910, available everywhere on the free iHeartRadio app.
This is the Parker & Sons Weather Center. For all your AC, plumbing, and electric needs, call Parker.
For tonight, look for partly cloudy skies, temperatures dipping down into those upper 80s. And then for your Wednesday, look for temperatures topping out close to 108 degrees with mostly sunny skies. For the Fox 10 weather experts, I'm Ty Brennan.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com. Dog days of summer got your business needing help? Check out Indeed, an all-in-one hiring solution that makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Brew Day is back at Twin Peaks. Every Wednesday this month, we're celebrating one of our most beloved things, beer. Get to any of the 5 Valley Twin Peaks and score 22-ounce Twin Peaks brew on draft for a special price all day. For a location near you, head to TwinPeaksRestaurant.com.
Make the right choice, right Toyota in North Scottsdale. There are so many dealers to choose from, but there's only one that truly cares about the people here in Arizona. Right Toyota is family owned. They are not some huge corporation led by a bunch of bean counters that are all just concerned with the bottom line. The family at Wright Toyota invests in the community and local charities. Proceeds from every car sold goes directly back to the people in need. Wright Toyota is even dog friendly. If you just want to shop from home, log on to WrightToyota.com for their full inventory of new and pre-owned vehicles. That's right, the right place, the right selection, the right people. Wright Toyota on Frank Lloyd Wright Boulevard in Scottsdale and online at WrightToyota.com.
Well, you won't go wrong. I wouldn't have gone wrong. At Wright Toyota. Well, you won't go wrong. I wouldn't have gone wrong. At Wright Toyota. Well, you won't go wrong. I wouldn't have gone wrong.
Time to get in on real estate investments. GC Global Capital has financing with no income verification. Call 480-397-9300. GC Global Capital is an Arizona licensed mortgage broker in MLS 1091187. License NV092493. An equal opportunity employer.
A small commitment at least 1 day a week helps reduce ground level ozone pollution.
Bobby Mack is ready to go.
Bike instead of driving. Fuel after dark. Commit to 1 day and help keep ozone away. Visit maricopa.gov/AQ to learn how you can help.
In this week's Marketers Report, we hear about the importance of local radio from Allison Griffin.
Oh, for
marketing at State Farm.
Did I miss something? Is there something new?
iHeart has such a broad broadcast reach that is local, and for us to be able to touch customers with a local feel but at a national scale is so efficient and important for us.
As the #1 audio company, iHeartMedia gives marketers access to the audiences, trusted influencers, and data you need to grow. If you're a marketer,
Man, MLS paid more for their rights.
You don't need to get personal, like revealing orange juice commercials make you cry. To get the State Farm personal price plan, just call or go to statefarm.com for a quote. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
Staples has great prices on everything you need for back to school. Right now, 2-pocket poly folders and an 8-pack of Staples #2 pencils are just 50 cents. Offer ends August 26. Pricing and limits may vary in-store and online. School on, save on at Staples.
Taking you inside the Cards locker room and down to the field with the Big Red Report. Each week, Arizona Republic's AC Central Sports' Bob McManaman joins Roc and Manuch to analyze the Cards and the rest of the NFL. Follow Bob on Twitter at AZBobbyMac. Now, here's Bobby Mack on Fox Sports 910.
All right, everybody, welcome back in. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Jax is here, Richie in the studio. We continue to broadcast live from the Barrio Queen here at the Desert Ridge Marketplace. It is Taco Tuesday, and also it is El Bandito Yankee Tequila Tuesday as well. So Bobby Mack is our guest. Bobby, at practice, the pads were popping, the dirt was flying, the sweat is being thrown all over the place. All right, tell us all about it, because Manuch is really excited to hear this.
Did they use the pads?
Yeah, that's what he wants to know.
Did they actually use the pads?
Yeah, finally they did. They could have started yesterday, but they only had shells on. And like a lot of things, they push things back and aren't taking advantage of every single day they have. But it was fun to see that today. You couldn't hear it as much as we would have liked to upstairs behind the glass in the press box. But if you go down the field, you certainly can hear, see it, and experience. But it was good to see. And as well as some of them looked, they got a lot of work to do.
And Bobby, in reference to just about 20 minutes, you reported that Cardinals made upgrades to the turf.
Yeah.
Indoor practice bubble. You get a little better lighting. Nobody slip sliding around out there on those practice turf, right?
Yeah, but they won't play the Super Bowl inside that little tiny thing. I'll tell you that.
Good call, Bobby.
You talk about tempo, and it seems like accountability is the buzzword there for the Cardinals. John Gannon's got these fines if you're 3 minutes later, this, that, and the other. It sounds as though the new sheriff is in town, and sounds like at least the guys are adhering to the new rules that are benefiting them.
Yeah, not only that, guys, it's everybody's on board with it.
Yeah.
Nobody's rolling their eyes and saying, "Oh God, we got a high school coach in here." No, I mean this is professionalism, and Gannon, in many respects, and in a good way, I might add, is downplaying some of that because, hey, man, this is the NFL. We shouldn't have to have these rules in place. You should already know this crap. And he said some of that including some of that today. Like, this is not about rules; it's about doing what you're supposed to do. And yeah, I got some interesting comments from the story I wrote about that last week from guys like, "Oh wow, geez, being on time, wearing the right Cardinal gear to a meeting instead of your college team or some music shirt or something. Sounds like real hard life." I mean, look, if you're going to let guys slide, they're going to take advantage of it. This guy's not letting anything slide. I think that's wise, and it starts to top with Monty. I'm not saying Michael, but Monty's kind of started this, and Gannon's taking it to a whole new level, and everybody's on board with it. They like it.
Well,
that's good.
That's good. That is good. Did anything stand out to you today that you could fill us in on?
Yeah, it was raining on my way out of there today, so that was new, and I'm happy to report that.
Okay.
Beautiful out right now. The temperature's down. No, I liked seeing Will Hernandez tear up D linemen today, and I thought Paris Johnson had a fantastic day. Took care of Zabin and some other guys, and threw them around. I heard Van Bosch talking about it. He's right, man. He's got a long way to go, but this guy's a stud. I mean, you look at his college film, you watch him bowl people over and tackle them 20, 30 yards downfield like Michael Orr in The Blind Side.
Oh, yeah,
that's what this cat is, man. He's fun to watch. You're going to love him. He's going to start at right tackle. There's no doubt in my mind.
Well, and the one thing that Kyle mentioned is the athleticism, and got it 6'7", 6'8", 320.
Yep.
To hear that big and that athletic, it almost seems like an oxymoron, but I've been watching a lot of the highlights and tapes. I'm like, damn. And I don't know if he's that good or Zaven Collins is just struggling that much when you watch him.
He's doing that to other guys too, including Cam Thomas and anybody else they want to try there. And I agree with Kyle as well. I mean, good luck on finding any sacks from anybody in particular. I mean, somebody's going to have to just jump out of their shoes to have a recognizably good year when it comes to sacks, pressures, and TFL. Right? I don't know where they're going to get it from. I'm hoping that their strength and numbers and youth and encouragement and all that. But let's face it, 2023 is going to be a disaster, and we really ought to be thinking about 2024 already in many respects. I don't want to go that far ahead, but I'll say this: we got to talk to the GM today, and Monty Austin for it. I asked him specifically, there's been so much speculation already about with the picks you stockpiled, and especially the 2 first-rounders that are expected to be fairly high, if not one and number 2 overall. What's that process of difficult decision-making going to be like? When does it start? Who's got to watch their butt? And he basically did say, it's only Tuesday, that's far ahead. Yeah, we're already working on it. And when someone has to follow up, I mean, he said more than that, but someone has to follow up like this, and I asked about, does that include like possibly thinking about a change at quarterback? Because you never want to say no. You never want to keep your options off the table. And Kyler's name was mentioned. And to that reporter's question, following up my question, I applaud him. And Monty said, yeah, K1's got to prove it. Everybody in this organization's got to prove it. Nobody's safe here. Sure. And if we got to make hard decisions, but with our future, we're going to do it, and we're going to exhaust every single detail. And he answered it like a real pro, and I was so happy to hear him not run away from the questions. That to me is a man, and it's the right guy at the helm. If you're going to answer those questions directly, honestly as you can, even though we're a million miles from those moments from happening, they're very real. And he stood up and answered it like a man, and I salute him for that. I think everybody else should too.
That's interesting that question was broached, and by the way that he did have that. How much, Bob, can you kind of like explain a little bit as far as what the quarterbacking setup is right now? We know it's going to be Colt McCoy, but then after that, it's kind of a crapshoot. Have you been able to determine anything else among the QBs?
Yeah, Clayton Tune, the rookie, is going to be the backup to Colt McCoy, in my opinion. Wow. I mean, he's been running with the 2s the whole time so far. And outside of a bad throw here and there, or a bad choice, or an interception, he still looks like the better of the other guys. Not to say that David Blau or Jeff Driscoll can't get a shot. They'll all get playing time in preseason. But keep your eyes on Clayton Tune. number 15 out of the University of, what was it, Houston?
Yeah.
Yeah. Air raid kind of offense. He's more like a Kyler in that he's mobile and still has a hell of an arm, and he's cocky and he's confident. Austin Fort, again, I was asked about him, and he praised him up and down and all the extra work that this kid's been putting in. So, my opinion, you're looking at Colt, and if Colt struggles or has any kind of injury problem, Clayton Toon's going to be starting for this team.
Yeah, it sounds as though there's, as far as picking the offense up and getting in sync with the offense, sounds like Colt has struggled like any new offense until you become comfortable with it. My question for you, Bob, is the depth at this offensive line, and if you're going to emphasize that running,
I like it,
and emphasize that coming downhill, will they have that depth if they're going to be emphasizing that running game the entire year?
There's no doubt. The depth, the offensive line has the most depth at any position on this team, and it by far outweighs any other position on this team. I love the depth there. You've got basically at least 4 other starters you could plug in at any second and not lose a beat by it.
You there, Bob?
Still there?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead, pal. Go ahead.
I floored you. I love that depth. It's the strongest on the team, and look, if you're going to be strong somewhere, it may as well be on the O-line, especially with this switch to a power running defense and some zone or off running game and zone running game. And look, you can't have that without that. And I was talking to the running backs yesterday, and it was Corey Clement called the O-line a vicious group of O-linemen. He goes, we love running behind these guys. They're going to be in the right spots. It's going to make us flourish, but they're vicious, and they are. Those guys, they got a lot of mean streaks to them. Will Hernandez especially, but don't mess with DJ. He'll joke around with you, but also knock your head off. And Paris is showing it too. And I like Wilkinson. He's a huge, big dude at left guard. I've got questions at center, but look, Yaldi Furholt's doing a pretty damn good job. And you brought in Pat Elfline. Plus you got Josh Jones and you got Kelvin Beachum as swing tackles. Good Lord. A lot of young guys behind them at guard interior. They're going to be fine.
All right. You got about 1 minute left here. Was there an Isaiah Simmons sighting by you?
Yeah, every day. He's doing something. He's learning it. I don't know what he's doing, but he's doing it. He's playing way deep and like they're almost hiding him. I don't know what position that's going to be called, but it's a strange setup. I don't know what to make of number 9's immediate future here. I just got a feeling it's probably going to lend him to go somewhere else after the season. But whatever he does this year, and I wish him luck because he's always been an upfront guy. He's an amiable dude.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's the latest in the line of Dayon Buchanan, Hassan Reddick. By the time they figure it out, it's too late. He's gone.
Wow.
So we'll see. I love the guy. The skills are off the charts. The size and the speed are crazy good. I just don't know what playing him at deep safety is going to accomplish. I don't. He's too big, and I don't know. I'm watching that every day, along with a million other things. But that's on my bucket list to determine what the hell is he going to play really.
That's why we have you on the show, so you can give us that information.
Hey, am I presented by anybody? I know that all City Towing is doing my man there, Vanden Bosch. Who's presenting me? Anybody?
We are basically.
Am I presented by anybody?
You're basically the natural Barrio Queen guy. I mean, you're during that segment, and we're loving it every Tuesday. El Bandito Yankee Tequila have a shot on us. Come on now.
Now let's work on that, Manuch. Let's get us presented by someone so I sound more important than I really am.
You are always important. Don't you ever downplay the importance.
Remember that next time you throw something in the mail to me, will you?
Oh, God, you got that right, Bobby. Thank you, bud. As always good
Thanks
to
for
hear.
having me.
You got it. Yep. Even though you insulted the hell out of us, it's okay. We love you. Bobby Mack, there you go. All right, a quick break. When we come back, it's our Learner and Roll. That's all on Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Fox Sports 910.
Check this out.
This is The Herd
You're excited. I'm excited.
with Colin Cowherd.
Not everybody is supposed to like each other in football. I mean, they tackle each other. I'm okay with Sean Payton saying Nathaniel Hackett stunk. He did. We watched. And I love Aaron Rodgers defending his coach. Everybody is so inauthentic and edited, and it's okay. I'm for it.
This is The Herd. Tomorrow at 10. Listen to Fox Sports 910 anywhere on our free iHeartRadio app.
Valley traffic from the Valley Toyota Dealers Traffic Center.
Pair of accidents on the US 60 Superstition Freeway, westbound near Higley off right, and also westbound at Greenfield off right. Loop 202, the Santan Freeway eastbound near Alma School, have an accident on the off ramp off to the right, and a crash baseline west of 12th Street. That's traffic.
This report is sponsored by Irish Spring, the fresh scent of Irish Spring. And those sensational Irish Spring suds are just the reset you need to own the day. Irish Spring. When the spring hits you, you're ready. Pick up Irish Spring at your local retailer today.
A homeowner just like you.
Hey.
Decides to fix his roof.
Okay.
He backs up his truck, ties one end of the rope to the bumper and the other to himself.
Smart.
He's working on the backside of the roof until...
What? Wait, no.
Yes, Dad was in tow.
Ooh, was he hurt?
A few bruises and his pride.
Save yourself with State 48 Roofing, offering maintenance, repairs, and replacements. Of course, licensed, insured, and bonded. From residential to commercial. State48roofing.com.
It's coming next month. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B's Monday night tailgate party at Casino, Arizona. They're planning their biggest year yet. Go get ready to win your share of the cash prizes each week. It's back, the Monday night tailgate at Casino, Arizona.
The people of Arizona have voted, and the results are official. Lerner Rowe has won again, being voted best personal injury law firm 8 years in a row. We'd like to thank everyone who voted, making Lerner Rowe the people's choice for personal injury. What makes us so popular? We've helped over 150,000 injured people recover billions of dollars for their injuries, and over $1 billion in the last 5 years alone. We're recovering more money for more people than any other law firm in Arizona. Call us today.
Lerner and Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
See your Valley Chevy dealers today during the Chevy Summer Drive going on now. New inventory is arriving daily. Don't miss your chance for some great deals this summer. See your Valley Chevy dealers for the best deals and the best selection during the Chevy Summer Drive today.
What's all the huss about?
Jeff and Leah Huss on Scottsdale Blonde.
Scottsdale Blonde is a local favorite.
You can find it would be Pete Damel's report from earlier today on ESPN.
The beer shop. And as always, at finehousebeer.com.
Find Arizona's hometown beer at your local grocery store or findhussbeer.com. Grab a Scottsdale Blonde and sip some sunshine. Find it on draft or in stores at findhussbeer.com. That's findhussbeer.com.
The extracurricular activities, the traffic, the nightly homework, the traffic, the finding time to eat dinner together as a family, the traffic. Back to school can be stressful. Thanks to Ziploc, meal prep doesn't have to be. New Ziploc bags with Stay Open design have a patented stand-up bottom that helps keep the bag upright and a top crease that folds and holds for easy filling, unlocking a second set of hands in the kitchen. If only it unlocked a second set of lanes. New Ziploc brand freezer and storage bags with Stay Open design from S.C. Johnson, a family company.
It's the Lerner and Rowe. One call, that's all. Call of the day. If you're looking for a full-service law firm, just make one call. That's all. 602-977-1900. Lerner and Rowe, voted Arizona's best law firm.
I don't think there's going to be a linear finish to this. I do think it's going to drag out a little longer. So I don't think anyone's either exiting or banding together. But the good news for George Kliavkoff is after a year of a protracted deal and missteps, he brought to the table today a potential deal with Apple. Sources told ESPN that the deal is a primary streaming deal, which could give schools some pause as a linear aspect was always going to be a critical piece of the deal going forward. But with the Apple deal, they would align themselves with a prominent streaming partner. And the money, although initially may be below where the Big 12 is expected to start in their deal in 2025, $31.7 million, there's potential through subscriptions by Apple TV to go past that Big 12 number. again, we're still on the hypothetical stage. There's a lot of conversation. I think people have to digest things back on campus, so I don't expect anything imminent tonight. But at least finally, a deal has been presented, and there's some clarity of what it could look like going forward.
That is Pete Thamel, ESPN, as he was doing the new Pac-12 deal, total streaming on Apple, and that is our Lerner and Rowe. One call, that's all. In a wreck, need a check, just call 602-977-1900, always at lernerandrowe.com, and you get a free consultation. Once again, 602-977-1900. Now, let's get to What's on Tap.
All right, Richie, pour me a cold one right back there. What's on tap tonight? The D-backs at the Giants. That'll come on at 6:30. That'll be on Your View TV, Channel 4, and MLB.TV. What's on tap brought to you by the Roc and Manuch Lager by Huss Brewing Company. Now available at the Tavern Grill in Scottsdale, 88th Street, and East Violinda. Arena Sports Grill on Bell and 62nd Street. Upper Crust, Cave Creek Road in the 101. It's right next to the Costco. And in the CIZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona. Try it for yourself. That's the Roc and Manuch Lager by Huss Brewing Company.
All right, Manuch, now let's get to our State 48 Roofing. It's your call question of the day.
You can go to @Roc and Manuch on Twitter. Have the D-backs done enough by acquiring a true closer in Patrick Sewald? Now, they've also have acquired Tommy Pham. That happened late this afternoon. Your two answers are yes, he will close games, or no, need middle relief too. Well, currently 50-50. They have not acquired any kind of middle relief. They have acquired another bat in Tommy Pham, but you can still go to @Roc and Manuch on Twitter. But again, it's yes, he will close games, or no, need middle relief, 50-50. So fans are pretty much split.
1 minute
to all that going on.
All right, so the meeting of the Board of Regents for Arizona State is currently underway. It is a closed-door private session, and we do not expect any announcement following the end of that meeting.
With the potential deals you heard from Pete Thamel there in reference to the the Pac-12,
yep.
The potential scenario with the upside of it. Basically, folks, it's 19.5. Subscriptions could exceed 31.5, which the Big 12 is looking to give from the get-go. If I'm ASU, if I'm this Board of Regents, I make that deal happen with ASU and Utah. ASU and U of A. Utah would suit follow to make it an even 16 teams.
Well, it's going to be interesting, and we will dive into all of it tomorrow. Tomorrow, we're broadcasting live from Wright Toyota. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Thank you to Jax, as always, and Richie back in the iHeartRadio studios.